Of course, the Vikings have lost 3 games here this year, but that is very unusual. They enjoy playing. Of course, if they win today, they'll play the NFC Championship game here.
Sergio Albert, who is strictly a kickoff man for the Cardinals, set to put it away. McClanahan and McConnell are deep for the Vikings. Moving forward is Albert. There's the kick. Line driver. Deep. Coming over to the near side. McCollum at the 7, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. 25. Dancing away at the 30. Slips and goes down right there on the near sideline. Trying to turn away. Jerry Hammond was down to make the stop for the Big Red of St. Louis. The referee today is Chuck Heberling. The umpire is Lou Palazzi. Head linesman Burl Toller. The line judge Red Cashin. The back judge Don Wedge. The field judge is Tony Scover. And the alternate is Bob Rice. A 23-yard kickoff return by Sudden Sam McCullum, who had a brilliant game last week at Kansas City. Both ball clubs 10-4. The Vikings won a mid-season Monday night game at St. Louis 28-24. They also defeated the Cardinals 14-10 in a preseason game. Wide to the left is Gilliam. Wide to the near side is Leish. Ozzie and Foreman, the running backs, behind Fran Tarkenton. Tarkenton, the first play, hands off to Foreman. Breaks one tackle, cut back in, but Stallings nails him at the 29.5. Left linebacker Larry Stallings, 6'1", 230 pounds in his 12th year from Georgia Tech. It's no gain. It's second down and a long 10.
You're going to see a lot of slips today. Looking at the field, the way they're running, they're kind of balance will mean a great deal today, Joe, because the field is not 100%. Of course, it's probably frozen. And not all the way frozen. Now, you can cut on. I'm sure they're using cleats right now, but you're going to see a lot of slips today.
Gilliam wide to the near side. Rice splits wide to the far side left. Deuce backfield behind Fran, 2nd and 10. The Vikes just shy of their own 30-yard line. Fran gives to Ozzie. Slides to the left side. Battles across the 35. Out to the 37-yard line goes 10-year veteran Dave Osborne.
Typical Ozzie run off the left side behind good blocking. Chuck Goodrum, Andy Marr on the left side. Just zone blocking. And they really pushed that defensive right side of St. Louis back. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 3.
Right linebacker Pete Barnes made the contact for St. Louis. A gain of 6. It's 3rd and 4. The Vikes at their own 36-yard line. Ozzie picked up 514 yards, an average of 4 a pop during the regular season, while Foreman, who set out the final game at Kansas City in 3 periods of the 13th game against Atlanta, gained 777. Rice wide to the near side right. Gilliam split wide left. 3rd down 4. The Vikes on their first possession to give to Foreman. Looking for room. Looking for a block. Tries to cut back. Stallings is going to nail him for a 1-yard gain at the 37. It'll be 4th down and 3. And Foreman, on his first 2 carries of the game, picks up a net of 1 yard.
Stallings defeated Dave Osborne on the block. Defensive left linebacker just off tackle. Fullback off tackle. And they put Foreman at the fullback spot and handed off over the right side. And Stallings played off the block of Dave Osborne well in the pursuit. Got Foreman for about, got back the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a yard.
Well, Fran had completed 199 of 351 for just under 2,600 yards. Did not put the ball in the air the first time. Eyeshide into front, the poorest in the NFC with an average of 36.1 on 82 kicks. There's a snap. It's a good one. He's got time. He gets the kick away. It's a rather low kick, a spiraling kick. And Metcalf fields it at the 28 to the 30. Heading to the far sideline. Steps back. Gets by 2 men at the 40. He's at the 45, and he's finally hauled in at the 47-yard line. Terry Metcalf. And Mike Eyeshide, the man who punted the ball, made the tackle.
He is dangerous, Joe. He caught that football on a dead run.
Eyeshide, or rather Metcalf, led the league in kickoff returns and was 4th in punt returns. He's an all-purpose back. 5'10", 185 in his second year from Long Beach. A 35-yard punt, a 13-yard return, and the Cardinals own the ball in excellent field position at the 46. They got Earl Thomas and Mel Gray at the wide receivers. Jackie Smith, the tight end. Jimmy Hart, the 5th-ranking quarterback behind Fran Tarkenton in there. Metcalf moves into a double-wing slot right. Here's the call now. Jimmy Otis, the other running back. And the handoff goes to Otis. Sliding to the right side, trying to turn the corner, gets by Marshall, battles across the 50, and gets into Viking territory to about the 48, maybe as deep as the 47-yard line.
Almost a pickup of 8 yards, Jim Otis, and both teams, it seems, going at that fullback off the right side.
Jeff Wright made the tackle. Now, in the interior line, we have Roger Finney at left tackle, Bob Young at left guard, Tom Brahaney is the starting center for St. Louis, Conrad Dobler is the right guard, Dan Dierdorf the right tackle, and Jackie Smith the tight end. We've got Marshall, Page, Sutherland, and Eller across the front 4. Winston at left linebacker, Seaman in the middle, Hilgenberg on the right side. Cornerbacks are Jackie Wallace and Nate Wright. The safeties are Jeff Wright and Paul Krause. Second down, about 3 yards to go for the Cardinals. In motion goes Mel Gray to the right side. Handoff goes to Metcalf, and he blasts in across the 45 to about the 44 before he's hit and shoved back, but it is very close to a first down. Hilgenberg, the right side linebacker, making the play.
Depending on where they place it, looked like his forward progress did get the first down. We're going to call it a first down here.
Well, they're going to stop the clock to measure here. Hart completed an even 200 passes out of 388 attempts. That's 51.5% completion. He passed for 2,411 yards, 20 touchdowns, which led the NFC. And Mel Gray, the wide receiver, a burner on the right side, caught 6 touchdown passes and 39 grabs. It's a first down for the Big Red on the Viking 44-yard line. The first down of the afternoon on St. Louis's first possession. The official, Chuck Eberling, says, let's get it going. 11:25 left to go so far, very early in the first period. Scoreless tie here at the Met. Later on today, the first AFC playoff game of the defending Super Bowl champion Miami Dolphins at Oakland. Now they shift Smith wide to the right in a slot almost. Double wing. One single running back. Quick pitch goes to Metcalf, breaks off left tackle and gets to the 40-yard line. A pickup of about 4 and a quick pitch, and Alan Page made the tackle on the play. Page is one of 7 Vikings named to the NFC's All-Pro team, which will play in the Pro Bowl in the week following the Super Bowl down in New Orleans.
What a year he had, Joe. Again, Alan Page, I think, has played as well this year as he has in the past, even as one great year when he was MVP. All professional football. This year, he had just an excellent year.
J.B. Kane, a big rookie from Colorado, wide to the right. Mel Gray, wide to the near side. Second down and 6 for the Big Red on the Viking 40. In motion goes Gray to the far side. This backfield behind Jimmy Hart. Quick pitch now to Metcalf, trying the right side. Hit by Eller. Hit. Knocked away and surges across the 35 and out of bounds in front of the Cardinal bench at the Viking 34-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. And it's going to be very close to a first down. Jeff Wright finally hit him hard enough to push him out of bounds.
Both teams keeping the football right on the ground, Joe, and I think St. Louis, if they're going to have this much success against the Vikings running the football, you're not going to see too many chances in a game like this because they're playing a game of mistakes now. One mistake, well, it can mean the end of a season.
Gray is out. Jim McFarland, the second string tight end, is in. They mark the ball at the 36. It's third down and a long one.
Big play, Vikings defense.
All right. Triple stack backfield behind Jimmy Hart. Both ends bunched in tight. Now they shift into the power eye. And the give is to the third man, Otis. And he is close to the first down. He's pushed back. And coming out of the pile with the ball is Wally Hilgenberg, but they've called the play dead as Hilgenberg stole the ball from Jim Otis. Now it's his deepest penetration, and it looks like he may be a little bit shy, Paul.
Yeah.
It's going to be very close. They had to get to the 34, and I think he got to about the 34 and a half.
I think it was Metcalf in the power eye, wasn't it, Joe? I think he lost control of the football. Otis, it looked, of course, a power eye situation there. Otis was the lead blocker. And a quick whistle there. The Vikings would have come up with the football and maybe 6 points.
Oh, big play coming up. Fourth down, a yard to go. Otis is the middleman. All right, power eye again. Now they shift in. They give this time. And he didn't make it. It was to Ken Willard. And Willard is stopped at the 35-yard line, and the Viking defense is held. Kenny Willard, the third running back in there, was stopped short of the line.
And don't you think this really should pick up that offense, Joe? The Cardinals on 3rd and 1 didn't make it. They came back, went for it on 4th down. They're going to come up short. They did not gain an inch.
Sutherland and Winston made the tackle. Timeout with 9:44 left to go in the scoreless first period. More from the Met in a minute.
One of the really good inflation fighters is a savings account. The more you save, the less you spend. That's good for fighting inflation, and it's good for you. And when you save at a savings and loan association, your money is used primarily to help people build and buy homes. That's where money is really needed today. And that's where money really works hard to build a solid economy. So don't give up on inflation. Fight back. Save a little more than you think you can. That money will grow. It's guaranteed to grow. And that helps you stay ahead of inflation. But most important, you are putting that money safely to work where it is needed the most in our country, helping people to build and buy homes. So fight back at inflation. Save money. The money you save at a savings and loan association works hard for you and your country, too. This message was presented in the interest of the savings and loan industry by Twin City Federal in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Joe McConnell and Paul Horning back at the net with a score tied. 0-0. The Vikings will take it over for the second time, just shy of their own 35-yard line. A big fourth down play made by left side linebacker Roy Winston, a 13-year veteran from LSU, and Doug Sutherland, who displaced Gary Larson in that front four for the Vikings about a third of the way into the season. Now the Vikes break the huddle. Jim Lash, who caught 32 passes for 631 yards wide to the left, Gilliam wide to the near side. Double wing, slot left, Foreman in the slot, Tarkington rolls to the right. Looking downfield, looks back in the middle, throws to Foreman, right through his hand to the 47-yard line, incomplete. He couldn't hang on. He was hit immediately by Pete Barnes, but it's incomplete. That's the first pass attempt of the ball game. It's 2nd and 10 for the Vikes.
Roll out right, and they got Chuck Foreman, a receiver. They covered that flood pass well, the defensive left side of the Cardinals. A roll out right. Fran actually has got his split end to hit. He's got his tight end to hit. And he's got his running back out in the flat. Foreman was coming from the weak side on the left. Ball was perfectly thrown. Fran picked his secondary receiver. Of course, Chuck leads this team pass receptions. He already caught 53 on the year.
With 6 touchdowns and 586 yards. Double wing, slot left. Foreman now wide to the near side. This is the formation we saw against the Rams. Tarkington rolls to the right. Now looks. He spins away. Cuts back. He's running inside the 30. Moving to the far sideline. Throws on the run. Incomplete. And attempting to hit Jim Lash. He was chased by Counsel Rudolph. But Tarkington finally threw it away. It'll be 3rd down and 10. He was forced. He rolled to the near side right. Was bottled up, couldn't find anybody open, had to run laterally all the way back across the far side of the field, and it was a foot race between Counsel Rudolph and Tarkington to the far sidelines, and Fran finally just dumped it harmlessly out of bounds.
Fran had to run. This football field is 53 yards wide. The ball was on the left hash mark. You know he ran at least 30 yards to the right and about 45 going back to the left.
All for no gain. It's 3rd and 10. Again, Lash wide to the left, and this time Gilliam will line up in the slot to the left. The backfield of Deuce. Ozzie on the left, Foreman on the right. The Vikings have been characteristically a slow-starting team in the last few ball games. Tarkington back to pass, swings one out, caught, and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And I believe it was Abe Osborne. Ozzie, who caught 29 during the regular season, knocked out of bounds at the 45, and it's going to be very, very close to the first down.
I think the ball does not have to be to the 45-yard line. This is going to be on the far side away from our vantage point here, and I think it's going to be a first down, maybe by a hair, Joe, or if they do miss it, it's going to be two inches.
Well, the chains had to be moved all the way over to the far side. Now, I think he made it. They're going to measure right now, and it is close.
Yeah, usually when they look right,
it's going to be short.
It's going to be short. Now, will the Vikings go on 4th down and an inch?
I think they are.
Run it, Bud.
No move from the sidelines.
They're going to go for it.
They're going to go for it.
Absolutely going to go for it.
Randy Alderman comes in. Alderman and Kingsrider come in. Alderman, of course, the last of the original Vikings. A 15-year veteran, the offensive captain at left tackle. Lash and Gilliam, the wide receivers, go out. Kingsrider, a second-year tight end from Minnesota, into the game to block.
Hope they make it. If they don't, and this happens to be one of the big plays, which it inevitably will be, there'll be some question about this.
Well, it's 4th down and less than a yard. The Vikings gambling here on their second possession inside their own 45. Everyone wedged in tight in the goal line defense. Ozzie and Foreman, the running backs. Kingsrider is a wing on the left side. Here's the call by Tarkington. And he gives to Foreman, who's got the first down to the 46-yard line on a jolt right up the middle. And Ozzie and Norm Thompson have a little exchange after the play. Ozzie was the man who carried the ball.
And the hometown fans show are on their feet. They love it. You know, I really don't know why, if you really think about it a little bit, fans love to see teams go on 4th down. And if a coach does it, I would say 10 times out of the year, he's probably going to be wrong 7 times. Percentages are against you.
First down for the Vikes on their own 46-yard line. Slot left. Gilliam lining up inside Jim Lash, and the snow continues to fall here at the Met. A little heavier now. It started about 20 minutes before kickoff. Fran gives the Foreman, sliding off right tackle, and he battles his way to about the 48-yard line. A gain of 2+. It'll be 2nd down and a long 7. Bob Rowe, the big defensive tackle, an 8-year veteran from Western Michigan, made the stop for the Big Red.
One play, Joe, I'm sure we're going to see, and we're seeing a little bit different. Of course, Foreman is a running back. You have to call him a running back, not a halfback or a fullback, because of the fact that even, look at today, he's been in the fullback position when the fullback plays are called off tackle. They just switch it around. Ozzie goes to the right halfback and blocks for Foreman.
Second down, 8, Minnesota. The Vikes on their own 48. Slot left.
A&B circle.
Deuce backfield, Ozzie on the left, Foreman on the right, behind Fran Tarkington. Mick Tingelhoff, 13-year veteran from Nebraska to center, snaps the ball. Fran drops back to pass. Now looks around on the right side. Foreman has it to 42 to 40. Answers and gets out of bounds at the big red 37 at first down.
A&B circle, Joe, and he beat Larry Stallings on a good move. And actually, a linebacker is really at the mercy of a running back. A guy like Foreman is going to beat Larry Stallings, who's a 12-year veteran out of Georgia Tech. You just, especially on a kind of field, because he has the option of cutting in or out. And what he does, he was lined up on the weak side. The tight end was lined up on the left. Foreman was in the right halfback position, and you have to key your middle linebacker. If the middle linebacker comes your way, you break outside. If he goes to the tight end side, you're going to break inside.
14-yard pickup, first down, Vikes on the big red 38. Slot left again. Gilliam inside, Jim Lash. Tarkington, inside handoff to Foreman, who bucks his way across the 35 to the 34-yard line. A pickup of about 4 as they're beginning to soften up that front 4 of St. Louis just a little bit. Middle linebacker Mark Arneson in on the stop along with Bob Rowe. It's second down 6, and that's the best gain on the ground by Chuck Foreman today.
I tell you, they're big inside, and maybe it's good. Rowe and Brooks both. Rowe 6'4", Brooks 6'6". They both go about 270 pounds, and right behind him, the middle linebacker's not too big. They got him listed at 223 pounds.
Second down 6. The ball on the Cardinal 34. Double wing, slot left. Foreman in the slot to the left. Handoff goes to Ozzie. He's tripped up and falls forward right straight up the middle about the 32-yard line. And Counsel Rudolph and Leo Brooks got an arm on him and helped trip him up, but Ozzie fell forward for a gain of about 2. It'll be third down coming up now. The Vikings with their first possession in Big Red territory. They mark it at the St. Louis 31. So they picked up 3, and it's 3rd and 3.
Big play.
Bud Grant, in his tenure with the Vikes, has won 4 and lost 4 in the second season, which is known as the playoff season.
They might throw it here, and it's a circumstance, Joe.
All right, Gilliam wide to the left.
See if they go right back to A&B circle. They got them split.
Lash wide to the left, Gilliam wide to the near side. Third down 3 from the St. Louis 31. The Vikes in their second possession and deepest penetration. Tarkington back to pass. Shoots one over the middle, caught by Foreman, and he's hauled in across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Another first down.
Both backs swinging out of the backfield. This time Foreman hooked up in front of the linebacker. Pete Barnes on the left side and Clarence Duran, the free safety.
Duran made the tackle on the play. A 7-yard pass completion to Foreman. It's a first down for the Vikes on the St. Louis 24.
They had a blitz on the play, Joe.
6:20 to go in the first period. No score in the ball game. Here at snowy Metropolitan Stadium. Now Jim Lash comes wide to the near side. An oddity, Lash, even though he had a great season, has played 2 years in the NFL without a touchdown. Gilliam in the slot to the right. Tarkington rolling to the right immediately. Fires one downfield. It's intercepted. It's intercepted by Mark Arneson, the middle linebacker. He goes out of bounds at the St. Louis 22-yard line, pushed out by John Gilliam. It was a quick pop over the middle, but Tarkington hit Arneson right in the numbers. He couldn't have dropped that one. So there's the first turnover in the game.
It was a slant pass, Joe. He was trying to hit his wide receiver, Lash or Gilliam, on a just real quick slant pattern. Roll out right. You got to hit it in that crease. Good play by the middle linebacker, Arneson.
Timeout. No score in the ball game. Let's pause for 1 minute on the Vikings KSTP radio network.
Stay happy, have a happy day today. Work there, live there, between the city and the way. Make your money work for you to do the things you want to do. Stay happy, between the city and the way. Stay happy, have a happy day.
One of the best names in watches is Walton. And right now, Twin City Federal makes it easy for you to own a Walton. With a qualifying deposit, you can take your choice at a remarkably low price.
Stay happy, the Twin City Federal way.
Well, the first turnover of the football game kills the Vikings' first real threat. and gives the Cardinals the ball back on their own 22-yard line. Tarkenton was intercepted only 12 times all year, passing for 17 touchdowns. Jim Hart had only 8 passes intercepted and threw for 20 scores. Wide to the right, the little sprinter out of Missouri, Mel Gray. And now on the shift, they bring Earl Thomas, formerly the Chicago Bears, wide to the near side. Now Metcalf shifts into the slot to the right. Double wing right. Hart drops back to pass on 1st and 10. Winds up, pumps, throws, incomplete. Overshooting Mel Gray, who was covered by 3 Vikings at about the 35-yard line, almost a stop and hook pattern.
Well, it was a turn-in, Joe, and it's a good thing. I think Hart may have thrown that away on purpose, because if he would have been on target, Nate Wright had an excellent opportunity because he was guessing on the turn-in. They were in a zone on that side, so he could really guess because he knew he had deep help from Paul Krause, and I really had it covered. He had the turn-in covered. And if it would have been thrown close to the receiver, Nate Wright had a shot at an interception.
J.B. Kane alternating with Thomas on every other play, wide to the right. Gray wide to the near side, 2nd down and 10. St. Louis on their own 22, and motion to the far side right goes Mel Gray. Hart, inside handoff, breaking into the clear is Otis across the 30 up to the 34 before he's upended in the secondary. Jim Otis on a quick pop right up the middle on trap blocking, got free. Roy Winston finally caught him in the Vikings secondary, but it's a big 12-yard gain on the ground, 1st down St. Louis.
So speaking of the Vikings secondary, I noticed Paul Krause, and of course, if you're familiar with Minnesota Viking football, you know he is one of the excellent free safeties that ever played a game. Today, he's playing a little bit deeper. Now, the reason for this, on that last snap, Krause looks like a center fielder. He's standing about 13 to 15 yards deep from the line of scrimmage. And what happens on a field like this, he wants that extra yard or two so he can cover the deep patterns on the outside.
Hart back to pass, swings one out the right flat, caught by Mel Gray, who jumped immediately at the 37-yard line, and apparently he dropped the ball after contact was made.
Good hit by Jeff Wright.
Jeff Wright jarred it loose. It would have been only a 3-yard gain had he held on. So it'll be 2nd down 10. Clock is stopped with 5:07 to go here in a scoreless first period. And this game is now on the ball twice.
And again, Vikings rolled on a zone on Mel Gray's side, Joe, and I think that's exactly the way the Viking defense is going to play against. They're going to give Earl Thomas all the outs he wants, but they're going to try to roll a zone on most occasions against Mel Gray because he is their big play receiver.
That was a penalty. There was a penalty flag thrown on that play. Offsides against the Cardinals declined. So it's 2nd and 10 St. Louis on their own 34. Otis, who picked up 12 yards a moment ago, was the 9th leading rusher in the NFC with 664 yards and an average of 4.2. He's had a fine year. He started with Kansas City. High formation. Now they shift into a double wing right. Looks almost like a triple wing, Paul. One running back. Hart back to pass. Swings one out in the right flat. Caught by Gray. Dropped again at the 40-yard line. It squirted right over his left shoulder.
It's a little cold out there. Get those hands loose. And, Joe, it is very difficult. Now, this is not a real cold day, as we mentioned here in Minnesota. But it's something about catching that football. If you start thinking about your hands being cold on a day like this, invariably you're going to drop a few of them.
All right, it's 3rd down and 10. St. Louis on their own 34-yard line. There have been several drop passes on both sides of the line here in the first period. Jim Hart led the best percentage as far as touchdown passes thrown as opposed to interceptions in pro football this year. Brings them up. Thomas wide to the right. Now Metcalf shifts into the slot to the right. Double wing. Right. Here's the call now by Hart on 3rd and 10. Dropping back to pass. Gets up deep. Throws one down the right sideline. Intended for Metcalf, who makes the circus grab at the Vikings 38-yard line. Right over Paul Krause's shoulder. Oh,
coming out of the backfield. Metcalf made a streak right down the right hash mark. Cut to the corner pattern is what it's called, Joe. And he made a great catch. Hart was right on target. Beautiful pass, too.
1st down, St. Louis on the Viking 37. That was a big gainer, 27-yard pickup. Metcalf caught 50 passes, just 3 less than our own Chuck Foreman during the year. He did not catch him for much distance, 377 yards. But that one was a big 27-yarder. Mel Gray wide to the near side. J.B. Kane wide to the right. 1st down, St. Louis. Their 2nd possession in Viking territory. Hart drops back to pass. Looks long. Throws a long bomb down the middle. And it is incomplete. Intended for Mel Gray, and both Jackie Wallace and Jeff Wright were back there, and I thought for a moment one of the Vikes would come up with the interception.
Well, Gray had a step on both of them, but the free safety In this occasion, they had a double coverage. Wallace and Jeff Wright both had a chance at the interception.
Hart hung it up just a little bit. It'll be second down 10 from the Viking 37-yard line as they sent Gray on a post pattern deep in the end zone.
Well, he's not worried about it. He's just come out throwing here after that first series of plays. It's thrown only pickup of about 10 yards by Jim Otis. Got the first down. Outside of that, he's 1 out of 5 for 28 yards.
That was a big one that got the Cardinals to the Viking 37 to Metcalf. Now Gray comes in motion to the near side left. Here's the call on 2nd and 10. Quick pitch now to Metcalf, trying to sweep the left side. Cuts back in, gets to the 35, to the 34. Triple team, stacked up and thrown back. Jimmy Marshall was around his ankles. Wally Hilgenberg hit him high along with Jeff Wright and pushed him back.
Marshall made a real fine play there.
Yes,
defensive right end. He was actually, they tried to cut him down. Tight end. Marshall got away from it.
Thomas out. J.B. Kane is in. Kane caught a 40-yard touchdown pass against the Vikings earlier in the season. Now here comes Terry Brown, Bob Lurchma.
This goes to 5-man rush.
The Vikes will go with a 5-man front and 6 defensive backs. This has been very successful. Third down 7. The ball at the Viking 34-yard line. Gray wide to the right. Kane wide to the near side left. Hart back to pass. That's up quickly. Pump. There he goes. He goes on. Bob Lurchma landed on his back at the 40-yard line. Lurchma right over the top.
He came in from his defensive right side position. He comes in. Jim Marshall goes out. And Lurchma is being hugged around the sidelines, coming up with a big sack here. The Vikings defense, the 5-man rush. Not too many teams used it. And you remember we've talked about this in the past. After the Los Angeles Rams were so successful against the 3-man rush, Bud Grant really kind of threw it to the winds, although last week he just threw it in. And the reason he had a 3-man rush last week, Joe, is to give St. Louis a little something more to work on.
Al Roberts in the punt. He'll try to kick it out near the corner. We have 3 men deep. Nate Wright on the left side, McConnell on the near side, and in the middle is Jackie Wallace at about the 10-yard line. There's a snap, there's a kick, and he hits it right down the middle. I'll see where it bounces, and it's going to roll down. One of the Vikings tried to block the Cardinals away from the end zone, and I think he did. I think the ball, now we'll wait and see. It's down near the goal line. One of the Vikings blocked the Cardinals away from the ball, trying to keep it from downing it, but it's going to be touched down at the 1-yard line. It died before it could get to the end zone after it landed on that soft turf. Timeout.
I think it hit Billy Brown real quick, Joe. I think he had to recover it right there.
Well, it could be. He tried to block that Cardinal away so the ball would roll into the end zone, but the Vikings will have it on their own 1-yard line following this timeout. More from the Met in 60 seconds.
Here's something important to keep in mind about saving at a savings and loan association. Your money is put to work in your community, and it's put to work in one of the very best ways, helping people to build and buy homes. That kind of money is needed today. It's good for the community. It's good for the economy. It's working in the solid, constructive way that is necessary to blunt the forward edge of inflation. And it is doing it right in your own community. Yes, saving at a savings and loan association is good for you. It's good for the economy, it's good for your community, and it helps to fight inflation. The more you save, the less you spend, and the more money you put to work building a strong, solid economy. This message was presented in the interest of the savings and loan industry by Twin City Federal in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
First down for the Vikes on their own 1. Slap to the near side right. Gilliam lining up inside Jim Lash. A 39-yard kick by Hal Roberts. Handoff, and it goes out to about the 4-yard line. Chuck Foreman picking up about 3. A clarification on that punt. Billy Brown got back down there. He was initially going to try to block one of the Cardinals away from it. Well, when the ball hit the ground, it bounced into Brownie, and he had to dive on it to recover it, or otherwise it might have been a St. Louis ball at the 1-yard line. Now it's second down 7. Vikings on their own 4-yard line.
Back in the huddle. Friend wants to either give him a different play or a different count.
Gilliam wide to the left, Lash wide to the near side, second down 7. Vikes on their own 4-yard line. Cardinals stunning at the line. A hand off to Foreman, who burrows out to about the 8-yard line.
Get big first down. Vikings can get it here. Foreman on the 2 straight carries inside. The ball rested inside the 1-yard line now. It's short of the 10-yard line. Call it the 9.
Well, it's going to be third down and 2, yes. 2+ to go. Leo Brooks made the stop, along with Mark Arnis in the middle linebacker. Very, very big possession for the Vikings now, and third down and long, 2 to go on their own 9.
I still say, of course, nothing to nothing. You can't take too many chances. Great passing down right here.
Flash wide to the left, Gilliam wide to the near side right. Fran gives it to Ozzie, and he did not make the first down as the roof caved in at about the 10-yard line. It's going to be fourth down about 1, but the Vikings did give Eichheit a little room to punt the ball.
Well, they tried the defensive left side. Arnis in the middle linebacker right there. Brooks and Counsel Rudolph also in a real tight situation. The ball is just over the 10-yard line, but it's going to be short.
Yeah, at least 2 feet. Fourth down, less than a yard, and the punting unit comes in, and Eichheit will be forced to kick it away from his own end zone against the southwesterly wind at 8 to 12 miles an hour.
Lord, I'm telling you, Terry Metcalf will probably be the only man back deep. They'll probably rush 10. Jackie Wallace, usually on the punt, splits way to the right, so he'll bring one man with him. No, he's in there tight now.
I'd like to see Eichheit kick it away from Wallace, or rather from Metcalf. He's back at about the 45 in Viking territory. Eichheit will kick it away from his own goal line.
Vikings are in trouble.
There's a snap. Takes his time. Gets the kick away. It's a high one right down the middle. Metcalf waits for it at the 47. Heads to the far side. Spins. Gets away from one man. A clip is thrown. Lays at the 40. Dancing away. And gets down. Spinning. Twisting out of bounds at the 35-yard line. But a penalty flag was thrown.
I tell you, he was hit after he went out of bounds. And I don't know if he's hurt. There's a flag down about the 49-yard line, Joe. And I think that was a real late hit by one of the Vikings. Hit Metcalf after he went out of bounds.
And he hit him.
There's the flag down there, too.
That
was a good call.
Penalties. Yeah, it was a late hit. And it was a rather needless one after the penalty flag was thrown. And the guy who did it picked a very dangerous spot to do it, right in the middle of the Cardinal bench. It might have been Brent McClanahan who hit Metcalf a little bit late. So we may have offsetting penalties here, which would be a big break for St. Louis, really, because they had clipped way, way early in the play.
A clip against the Vikings, and an unnecessary hit after Metcalf out of bounds.
A roughing penalty on the Vikings.
What are they putting it back for?
Well, I don't know what they're doing now. They're bringing it back. They're putting the ball back into St. Louis territory.
I don't understand this.
I don't either. The ball club's just kind of milling around right now in midfield as the official started back across the 50-yard line. And now they put it,
I guess, where he
at the Minnesota 46-yard line. Matt Blair apparently was the man who got the late hit.
The clipping penalty on the Cardinals was called against number 52, Jack Levesque.
Jack Levesque on the Cardinal special unit was called for the clip. And Blair to offsetting penalties, and they'll give St. Louis the ball at the 46. Now, I thought they'd kick it over in a situation like that.
I would, too. I'm going to have to get a...
Well, I'll just soon take it right here. First down, St. Louis at the 46-yard line in Viking territory. Thomas wide to the near side. Gray split wide to the right. High formation. Metcalf and Otis the running back. Jim Hart, the quarterback, had his finest season. And he fakes to Otis, throws over the middle, incomplete, and almost intercepted on the deflection. A quick slant in to the wide receiver, Earl Thomas. He couldn't hang on. And Krause was there along with 4 or 5 of the Vikings, and Hilgenberg almost came up with a deflected interception, but it falls incomplete at 2nd and 10.
A lot of those wide receivers, they do not like that play, Joe, when it's a quick slant over the middle. The safety man, if he can pick it up, they can just tear your head off.
2nd down, 10. Big Red on the Viking 46-yard line. We have 52 seconds left to go in a scoreless first period. J.V. Kane, wide to the near side left. He'll be working against Jackie Wallace. Wide to the right, Mel Gray. He'll be operating against cornerback Nate Wright. Loose backfield. Now Gray comes in motion to the near side left. Hart fakes outside pitch, gives to Otis up the middle. He's hooked at the 43-yard line. A great tackle.
Sutherland.
Oh, Doug Sutherland made a beautiful tackle that play. As he caught him from an angle and dropped him. A gain of about 2.5. 3rd down and a long 7. Again, Thomas in with a play from head coach Don Coryell, who's done a masterful job in turning this Cardinal franchise around. Here comes bench warmer Bob Lertzma in with a defensive backfield. They'll go with a 5-man rush with the 6 defensive backs.
Terry Brown and Randy Polo come in this situation. Now we got 6 defensive backs and 5 down linemen.
Well, they used it once before and got a sack. Hart back to pass. He's got plenty of time this time. Wings it out. Incomplete attempt for Earl Thomas. He was hit by Jackie Wallace. He dropped it on the 29-yard line.
Getting a little cold down there. You got to just relax those hands. He might have been out of bounds anyway, Joe. I think he lost the sidelines there.
Jackie played that one very well.
Jackie played it, timed it beautifully.
4th down, 7. 10 seconds left to go in the first period. The ball at the Viking 43. And Roberts, who hit a soft one down the middle to the Viking 1-yard line a moment ago, will try it again. Again, the Vikings drop 3. Wallace in the middle. Nate Wright on the left side and protecting that corner. And Sam McCullum protecting the near corner on the right side. Roberts standing a little bit deeper than average. Gets the snap. Moves forward. There's the kick. High floater. Again down the middle. The Vikings want to let it go. This time it bounces out of bounds at the 1-yard line. It was saved. It was saved down there by Steve Jones, who tipped the ball before it crossed the goal line.
Vikings in a hole again, Joe. Beautiful play by Steve Jones that time.
There's the end of the first quarter. No score in the ball game, with the Vikings deep in the bottle. A 41-yard kick on that play, and the Vikings will have it on their own 2-yard line when the second period resumes. No score in the game. Play continues in 1 minute on the Minnesota Vikings KSTP radio network.
If you want to know what Christmas means, it's best to ask children. Somebody did, and Twin City Federal brings you some answers. What is Christmas? Christmas is the time of year when everyone acts like they're supposed to. Now, that's a straightforward answer. And here's another one that Twin City Federal would like you to think about. What does Christmas mean? Candy and toys, Santa and noise, pushing and shoving, hauling and lugging, and love. All the folks at Twin City Federal hope that you are spending Christmas with the people you love in a place that is home to you. May you have a Christmas that is rich in hope, happiness, warmth, beauty, and love. This message comes to you on behalf of all the Twin City Federal offices where the famous twin clocks flash time and temperature. Think happy today. That's what Christmas is all about.
Well, the Vikings start the second period back on their own 2-yard line. For the second time early in the ball game, the Cardinals have been able to feather the ball out near the goal line. That time it was a great play by the down man, Steve Jones, a reserve running back, who actually caught up with the punt as it was about to cross the goal line. And he just batted the ball out of bounds. Of course, where he touched it, it was real dead, and that's at the Viking 2-yard line.
And Steve Jones earned his salary, probably, Joe, right on that one play as far as the Cardinal organization is concerned. Ball's inside the 2. Vikings milling around now, Tarkney with these hands, the front of his pants. It's always the warmest spot, they say, in your body. It is. It's a natural thing. You always see football players go right there.
I didn't say anything. All right, first down, Vikes on their own 2-yard line. Actually, about the 1.5. It's closer to the 1 than the 2. Slot right. Gilliam lining up inside. Jim Rice, the running backs are Ozzie and Foreman. Partington hands off to Ozzie, and he gets maybe 2. He was stacked up right in the center of that big red defensive line.
There's a late, of course, the whistle blew. I think he lost control of the football. Cardinals came up with it, but it's going to continue to be Viking football.
Well, they mark it at the 5, so Ozzie picked up about 3.5. It's second down, and
completely zone blocking, trying to wedge him out, Joe, and that ball's inside the 1. They double team one of the defensive down linemen, the tackle there, and just hope they pick up 3 or 4.
Second and a short 7. Now they have a slot to the near side left. Gilliam lining up inside Jim Lash. Now they go to a double wing with Ozzie as a wing back to the right. The give is to Foreman. Foreman looking for running room and falls forward to the 9-yard line. He was stopped almost standing straight up at the 6, and all of a sudden lunged forward and picked up an extra 3 yards. Very big. Now it'll be third down and about 2.5. The ball at the Viking 9.
I'll tell you, it's a dangerous running back, Joe, on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, because most of your linebackers almost take themselves out of the play as far as pursuit is concerned. Now, a guy like Foreman gets a little trap block, gets by that first flow, could break it for a long run.
All right, again, slot left. Gilliam inside Lice. Third down, a long 2. The Vikes on their own 9-yard line. First possession in the second period. No score. The give is to Foreman. He struggles. He didn't make it. He tried the right side. He was hit just across the 10 and shoved back, and they'll see where they mark it, but I think he's going to be at least a half-yard shy at best.
They'll be close. First quarter stats. Minnesota and the Cardinals both had 3 first downs. Rushing, St. Louis 37, Minnesota 27. Passing yards, St. Louis 23, Minnesota 30. So net yards, very, very close. The Cardinals with 60, Minnesota with 57. Fran was 3 out of 6 for 30 yards in the first quarter. Hart, 1 out of 7, had at least 2 or 3 dropped.
Well, they're measuring. Oh, they got it! I didn't think there was any way. First down for the Vikes by...
What a big first down.
Had to be a lace in the ball somewhere. The ball was just across the 11-yard line. So the Vikings pick up a big first down. 13:31 left to go. No score in the first half. Now Lash wide to the right. Gilliam comes wide to the near side left. See if Fran now opens it up a little bit. Cardinals gapping the line on the defense. Fran back to pass. Has time. Swings it out. Caught by Foreman. Gets a block. He's to 15. Twisting to the 19-yard line. Andy Maurer gave him a great block out on the right flat. He cut back inside Maurer and cut upfield about the 19-yard line on a great twisting run.
Well, that's the third catch for Chuck Foreman today.
Stallings made the tackle.
Fran's completed 4, Joe. All 3 of them going to Chuck Foreman.
Second down, 2. The ball just shy of the Viking 20-yard line.
The other pass Fran completed was to Ozzie, so he's gone to his backs on all his completions.
Lash wide to the near side. Gilliam flip wide to the right. This is a good passing down on second and short. Instead he gives to Ozzie, who gets to the 20, well, just across the 20, and he got chopped down right there, and a flag is thrown.
On the right side, too, I think it was number 62.
That would be Ed White.
Ed White.
Bob Rowe and Jankowski made the tackle for St. Louis. And it's going to be a penalty against the Vikes. Holding call. And that will move the ball from the 19 back to the 9 and make it second down and about 12 to go. St. Louis, I'm sure, will take the penalty. Ed White is the man. Yep, they're going to bring it back. Well, it's at the 10. So that makes it now second down and a short 12. 12 and a half minutes to go here in the first half. No score. The Vikings, after a drive that took them to the St. Louis 22-yard line where they were intercepted by middle linebacker Mark Arneson, who did not pick up a pass all year. They've been bottled up ever since then with a kick out of bounds on their 1 and a kick out of bounds on the 2. Gilliam wide to the right. Lash wide to the near side left. Second down, 12. The Vikes on their own 10-yard line. Fran gives to Foreman. Sliding to the right. Cuts back in. Angles across the 15. Escapes one man. Is hit and shoved back. He got to about the 17-yard line. Foreman eluding the first couple of would-be tacklers. Duran finally caught him and drove him back. But they'll spot the ball at the Viking 17 and a half, make it the 18-yard line. So now it'll be third down and 4. So the Vikings are within striking distance of the first down. Big run by Foreman, who's beginning to pick up a few yards on the ground now to go with his pass receptions. He's caught 3 already today.
He's got 56 yards in total offense. He's caught 3 for 28. He's run the ball 9 times for 28.
Slot to the near side left. Gilliam lining up inside second-year man Jim Lash. Third down, 4. Big play for the Vikes on their own 18-yard line. Fran drops back to pass. Half time. Throws. Overshoots Ozzie at the 21-yard line. He was covered by Stallings. Fran seemed to have plenty of time on that play and went to Ozzie, looping out of the right flat. Gilliam looked like he was open down the middle deep.
He was deep, but he had 2 men back there, Joe, and it would have to be at least a 50 to 55-yard pass. And those defensive secondary men can really react when the ball's in the air that long.
Well, it's 4th down and 4, and the Vikings, who might have had a first down had it not been for the penalty flag, forced to kick it away. Eyeshine for the first time today as the wind at his back. Metcalf back in single safety. There's the snap. There's the kick. High hanging kick, not too deep, but there shouldn't be a return. Metcalf with a fair grab at the Viking 49. Well, that is a 29-yard punt. Timeout. With 11:32 left to go in a scoreless first half. More from the Met in 60 seconds. Joe McConnell and Paul Hunting back at snowy Metropolitan Stadium. The flurries have abated here. We got a gray overcast day, a rather sloppy field. First down for the Cardinals on the Viking 49. No score. Cardinals have had the great field position. Gray wide to the near side, split wide to the left is Earl Thomas. Running backs, Otis and Metcalf. Now in motion to the left goes Gray. 9-3 center. Hand off to Metcalf, coming back against the ball. Look to the outside, squeeze the corner to 45. Runs across the 40 to the 39. He was hit around the ankles by Paul Cow and helped him middle linebacker Jeff Seaman, but he beat the cornerback on the play and the sweep to the near side.
Both these offenses rely a great deal on their running backs. Metcalf had an outstanding year with St. Louis, Foreman on the Vikings, and they do the same things in their offense. It's so close, Joe. They go to the air, they catch the pass on the big play, they run the football. Metcalf, of course, is probably the most dangerous punt return man in the National Football League.
Well, Metcalf and Aaron, I think, would have to rank in top 2, without a doubt. He is about 3 inches short of the first down. It'll be second down and inches to go. The ball on the Viking 39.
That play there, I think Nate White had a shot at it for maybe a 2-yard gain. He broke it, got to the outside, he picked up 9 yards. And that's the difference of a great running back, Joe. Most of your backs probably would have been stuck one-on-one there with maybe a pickup or 2. Your great backs will lose that first man and make him 9-yard gain.
J.B. King, wide to the left. Right wide to the near side. Next little opportunity for Hart to gamble and throw deep. High formation. Now they shift into the deuce. Otis on the right. Metcalf on the right. Long count by Hart. And he gives to Otis. Breaks Otis. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. Knocked away from that play by Jeff Wright.
He didn't even see the football, too, Joe. His back was to the pass. The ball Hart threw was just a little bit behind Milgray, about the 27-yard line.
Just about a half step behind, and I think that was the difference of it being completed. As it was, it almost came up lucky for the Vikes. Ray goes out, and Ken Willard replaces him as a third running back. Willard has been around a long time. He's in the top 10 and NFL career rusher.
The pass could have been caught, Joe. Really good catch. Those are the kind of catch you got to come up with. Now 1 out of 8 for 25.
All right. Third down, less than a yard. The ball to the right. 39. Now Willard kicks over to the right. And again, he goes to Otis, and he gets the first down, but not by much. He was stacked up with little or no running room at all, but he did pick up the first down inside the 39. All he needed was about 3 inches. Alan Page hit in there very hard, along with Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker, and Doug Sullivan, the other inside man of the front four for the Vikes. First down for the Cardinals, just shy of the Viking 38, a gain of a yard. And Gray and Kane come in. Thomas started out, now goes back to the Cardinal bench across the way. 10:24 left to go in the scoreless first half, and again the Cardinals are in Viking territory, where they've been most of the way so far. Gray wide to the left. Big J.B. Kane. 6'4", 220. Wide to the near side right. And here comes Gray in motion to the near side. Hart gives Metcalf on the sweep to the left. Cuts back in. He's thrown up by Hilden. Ball fumble at the 40-yard line. I think the Cardinals got it back big time. Willis is there. And he did. He got it back at the big red point at the Viking 41-yard line. Brennan Hilgenberg with a great tackle that time on Terry Metcalf. And not only that, he jarred the ball loose and almost got a turnover.
I'll tell you what, while he had his arms just completely encircling Metcalf that time. I think the little 11 years experience came in handy there, Joe. He not only had his arms around him, but he was trying to cause a fumble. He probably put that right arm in there and jerked it free.
Well, the loss of 2 on the play, but Otis fell on the loose ball for St. Louis. It's 2nd and 12. The ball just outside the Viking 40-yard line. Gray comes wide to the near side right. Thomas splits wide and left. Thomas caught 34 passes for 5 touchdowns. Hart goes back to pass. That's up. Then loose by Ellis. Right, hitting accusation at the 27-yard line of first down. Hart did have protection. Eller came in, hooking in from the left side. Hart stepped up just in time and hit Earl Thomas, who was then tackled by Paul Krause. But a gain of 13. It's a first down for St. Louis on the Vikings' 27-yard line.
Turning is one of the main plays, Joe, against the zone defense. You give that quarterback enough time, and he'll pick you apart if they can run a deep turning on you, because Krause, they rotate at that time to the weak side, and he worked perfectly as far as the defense is concerned, and was the roll to the zone to Thomas's side.
All right, Greg's wide to the right now, the delayed shift. Wide to the left goes J.B. Kane. First down, St. Louis on the Vikings 27, and motion to the left goes Will Gurney. All right, gives off the Metcalf. This time he flies the middle. He's hit at the 24 and rolls to about the 22. We'll see where they stop the ball. He was tripped up by Alan Page. And they're going to spot it at the 22-yard line. The pick up a 4, it's second down 6.
Well within the range of Jim Backen. Backen, of course, one of the most experienced kickers in the league, with 13 out of 22 in the field goal department this year.
He and Freddie both had pretty fair years in the field goal department, but they both left a lot to be desired in the extra point department. Backen missed 6 out of 36, and Cox missed 7 out of 39. Second down 6, the ball at the Viking 22. On formation, Thomas wide right, Gray wide left, and now Gray in motion to the near side right. Hart waits on him, now fakes to the left, swings out on the right flat, caught by Gray. He's dropped by Jeff Wright, and he's open right through the 23-yard line. A great play by the strong safety.
Oh, I tell you, he thinks the offensive right tackle is the guy who is supposed to knock right. Split end screen. It was just a real quick hit shot to the right side. He waits for his lineman to come out in front. The right tackle, Dan Goodall, was supposed to knock just right. If he would have got by him, Joe, he would have picked up some yardage.
The roar of the crowd here from the Mets indicates the Vikings have gone with their 5-man pass rush again. Been very successful so far. They've picked up 1 sack with it today. Now Marshall goes out. Rosenberg is out. Third down. 6 yards to go. The ball still at the Viking 22. Very wide right. Wide left. J.B. Kane. Right on a draw. Here's the Metcalf. To the 15. Cuts back to the 10. And down he goes at the 9-yard line. First and goal. St. Louis. And a flag is thrown. It may be a late hit. Maybe a face mask. Hunt Sullivan was the man who made the tackle on Metcalf. A good call by Hart on the draw, the delay.
Real good blocking up front. Just caught the Vikings in that 5-man rush, really going after the passer.
The penalty flag was thrown against St. Louis. Oh, what a break for the Vikes. That came after the play was already over.
It's going to be a first down.
It'll be a first down, but it'll move it back from the 9, probably to the 24-yard line.
Take a late hit or a late block on Jeff Bryant. That's what it was.
15 big ones. Oh, what a break for the Vikes, and the ball goes back to the Minnesota 24-yard line.
Anyway, it might be third down. Now they're going to rule it. He had the first down made.
Well, they still got the third down marker on the near sideline, so it will be third down again and 8 yards to go. What a break. Conrad Dobler, the right offensive guard, was the man who was guilty of that infraction, and that might well be the biggest penalty of the game.
No question about it.
Now it's third down and 8 for St. Louis at the Vikings 24. Very wide to the near side. Thomas put wide to the left. Now Metcalf lines up with a double wing right. Hart drops back to pass. He missed. That's it. He's got running room. He's to the 15. And he's up into the 14-yard line. He's got the first down. Everyone dropped back. And Hart stepped up inside, eluding the rush. Had nothing but wide open daylight in front of him. Nate Wright finally came up to upend him at the 14-yard line. But it should be enough for the first down.
It is.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Vikings KSTP radio network.
20 degrees in the Twin Cities. Southwest winds at 12 and light snow falling at 1 o'clock. KSTP, St. Paul, and Minneapolis.
Oh, big play by Jim Hart. Now, J.B. Kane wide to the near side. Wide to the left is Mel Gray. He comes in motion again to the near side right. Left and 10 from the 14. And off the Metcalf. Looking. Touchdown at the 13-yard line. Wally Hilgenberg made a great ankle tackle as he leaned over the blocker and caught Metcalf as he faked to the outside and tried to cut back inside the blocker. It's second down 9. The ball on the Viking 13.
Page also right at the point of attack, Joe. Great lateral movement, Alan Page. It's amazing, 245 pounds. You know, I was speaking last night, I ran into Wally Chambers, who, in my estimation, plays as close to Alan Page as anybody in professional football. Wally's up here visiting Chuck Foreman. They're very, very good friends, but they made an acquaintance in the All-Star game a couple years ago.
Second down 9. Way wide to the near side, foot wide to the left is Earl Thomas. The ball on the Viking 14-yard line. And dropping back the pass is Hart. Throws it out. It's caught. And it's a touchdown. And it might be the try and Jackie Smith will have to wait and get the number. No, it's Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas slammed in as he was foot wide to the left, cut diagonally across the field. Made the drive at the 5-yard line and barely got it across the goal line. And the Cardinals have taken a 6-0 lead here at Metropolitan Stadium with 5:05 to go in the first half.
And it was a second down play, a 13-yard touchdown pass from Jim Hart. Plenty of protection, Joe. He just waited for Thomas coming across from the left side to clear the linebacker. He put it right on the money at the 4-yard line. He went in from there.
Well, the Big Reds scored first. They have plenty of opportunities. The kick by Bakken is good, and the score now, St. Louis 7, the Minnesota Vikings nothing. We'll pause right now on the Minnesota Vikings KSTP Radio Network. As Viking fans, you're probably well aware of the new rule changes put into effect this season. They don't change the game of football all that much. They just make it more entertaining. More entertaining for you, the fans. And I'd like to say that same principle applies to Twin City Federal's Pass Card. A TCF Pass Card doesn't change your way of saving money. It just makes your savings account more useful and makes saving a little easier. For instance, Pass Card speeds deposits, lets you make out withdrawals faster, gives you an instant receipt, and automatic quarterly statements. It also turns on TCF's new 24-hour total tellers, the Happy Machines. Day or night, you can use the Happy Machines to deposit or withdraw money, cash checks, and make mortgage payments. And there are a lot of other things you'll be able to do with Pass Card in the future. So stop in where those famous twin clocks flash time and temperature soon, and ask about Pass Card, TCF's new way of making your savings account more useful. Well, the Cardinals went 49 yards in 11 plays, and with 5:05 left to go here in the first half, they now lead it 7-0. Sergio Albert set to kick it away to McClanahan and McCullum. 13-yard touchdown pass, Hart to Earl Thomas. Well, they're still holding it up. Couldn't be the television got in late, did it? Crowd a little bit upset. We have very few no-shows here today, despite the local telecast. The Vikings are true football fans. There's the kick, high in the veranda, lifting to the right side. McConnell at the 9, to the 10, to the 15, the 20, up the middle of the 25, to the 30, and he got caught from behind and dropped to the 34-yard line. Gary Hammond made the play. Interesting note on Hammond.
Well, you're going to hear some crowd noise now. They want this Minnesota Viking offense to come to life.
An interesting note on Hammond. He caught only 2 passes for 14 yards at a wide receiver behind Mel Gray, but he threw one pass this year, and it was good for the longest touchdown pass of the year at the NFC, 81 yards to tight end Jackie Smith. First down Vikes on their own 35-yard line. Gilliam wide to the near side, foot wide to the right now is Jim Rice. This is the best field position the Vikings have had since their second possession. And off goes to Ozzie, sliding off right tackle and battling up to the 39. A gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6. Stallings made the tackle with help from Arneson, the middle and left side linebackers.
Well, I tell you, they're really trying to test that defensive left side for St. Louis, Joe. They've been off tackle, I bet, 50% of the time against Council Rudolph and Leo Brooks and Larry Stallings.
All right, Gilliam wide to the near side. Foot wide to the right now is Jim Rice. Second down, 6. The Vikings on their own 39-yard line. Tarkington fakes to Ozzie, gives the Foreman, coming back. He breaks away at the 45. The 50, the 45, and now to the 43-yard line. Goes Chuck Foreman, clears third, finally hauling down. A little counter move on the inside. Taking Ozzie to the right, giving back to Foreman, cutting against the grain. He popped it open, broke a tackle, and and almost sprung it. 18-yard pickup by Chuck Furman on a running draw, Joe. He let Ozzie cut in front of him. He was lined up a little bit deep that time. Halfback kind of delayed draw right up the middle. Cross blocking up front, and he got a hold. First down, Vikes on the St. Louis 42-yard line. 19-yard pickup by Chuck Furman. Flash wide to the right, Gilliam wide to the near side. The call now by Fran Fleckington. And the fake, this time the Foreman, he dumps it out to Ozzie at the 40. Ozzie shoots to the far side across the 35, and he's pulled down on the 33-yard line. He just lowered his head and got the last 4 or 5 yards. Jimmy Talbot and Clarence Stone up over the top to make the play for the big run. While he was open, Joe, they had a blitz on the left side. Larry Stallings, the linebacker over there, blitz. They faked the same play they just picked up 19 yards on. They faked the rollout draw this time. Now Stallings on a blitz. Tarkington just jumped up a little bit. Little basketball pass. It was a spiral, and he was wide open in the vacated area. Stallings, that would have been his man on a normal pass route. Second down, a yard to go. The ball on the St. Louis 43. Gilliam wide to the right, Rice wide to the near side left. Tarkington looks at Rice, calling out the signals behind Mick Tingelhoff. And off goes the Foreman. He's got the first down to the 30-yard line again, wedging it out behind Ed White and Ron Yeri, working against Leo Brooks and Council Rudolph. The left side of that Cardinal front four. It's a first down for the Vikings on the St. Louis 30-yard line. Our second deepest penetration of the ball game. 2:38 left to go in the first half. St. Louis leads it 7-0. Foreman has 50 yards now, 11 carries. He also got 28 free pass catch. It would be ironic if he cracked the century mark today on the ground. No Viking did it during the regular season. Ozzie had 98 on 2 occasions. Again, Gilliam wide to the right, Lash wide to the near side. First down, Vikings on the St. Louis 30-yard line. Fran gives to Foreman again, wedging it out off the right side, and he gets about 4 more down to the 26-yard line. They continue to run that same play.
And they're always going off the right side, Joe.
Mark Arneson, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. Well, Leo Brooks and Council Rudolph have their hands full today trying to hold out Ed White and Ron Yeri, the 2 strongest men on the Viking offensive line. Well, the 2-minute warning is now being given to both benches. So timeout with a score, 7-0. St. Louis over the Vikings. More from the Met in 60 seconds.
There are 2 very important kinds of interest, and you get them both from your local Savings and Loan Association. You get a generous rate of interest. You can always be sure of that. Your money is always there when you want it. All the money you have saved, plus the generous interest you have earned. Another important kind of interest is the interest that your local Savings and Loan Association has in your own community. The money you save is put to work helping people build and buy homes. And that is in the very best interest of your community. Savings and loan money stays in your community, works in your community, and it helps to build the solid kind of economic base that takes the edge off inflation. Interest that makes your money grow. Interest that helps to build the community. You get both kinds of interest from your Savings and Loan Association. This message was presented in the interest of the savings and loan industry by Twin City Federal in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Two minutes left to go in the first half here at the Met, and the flurries have again begun to fall from the cloudy skies overhead. The ball at the 26-yard line in St. Louis territory. It's second down 6. Vikings. They trail 7-0. Listen to the crowd. This has been the most vocal crowd at the Met all year. Flash wide to the near side. Split wide to the right is Gilliam. Fran is not thrown to his wide receivers yet. Second down 6. The backs are Ozzie and Foreman. And to give this time to Foreman, trying the same play. Breaks it at the 20. Looks to the outside and gets to the 16-yard line. Again, working the slant to the right side.
Getting a little running room. Cross blocking up front. He saw a crack. He cut a little bit veered to his right. Joey found the hole, got the first down.
Duran and Talbert again combined to bring Foreman down, but not until Chuck had picked up the first down on the St. Louis 16-yard line. A gain of 10. He now has 64 yards running in the first half. The big stat, though, and the only one that really matters is the scoreboard, and the Cardinals lead it 7-0. Slot to the near side left. Fran drops back to pass on 1st and 10. Giving ground to the right, swings it out, incomplete. He threw that one away, intended for Ozzie. He was really rushed that time by Bob Rowe. Broke in from his right tackle position. It'll be second down 10. The clock is stopped with 1:17 to go in the first half. The ball at the St. Louis 16. Later on today, Oakland. with the best one-loss record in all of pro football, 12-2, host the two-time defending champion Miami Dolphins, the Eastern winners of the AFC, out in Oakland.
5 in a row at Oakland. Miami.
Could be. I know that Oakland ended their regular season winning string there a year ago. Oakland has lost only 10 times in 60-some ball games at Oakland. Now Foreman lines up as a double wing. Slot left. Fran drops back to pass. Rolls to his right. Oh, Gilliam, touchdown! There it is. There's the big play. Fran tucking in around the right side on a rollout. And John Gilliam found the open spot about the 3-yard line. Coming right to left. He then went back to the right side. Found the open hole right in the end zone. And we have a chance now. Usually it was automatic, but Freddie Cox now. He's taking a little practice swing. He's got a shot to tie it up here. He's missed 7 extra points during the season. When I say miss, he had, I know, at least 4 of them blocked. 65 yards and 8 plays for the apparent tying touchdown. 16 yards, tracking into Gilliam in the right corner of the end zone. Krause will hold. Cox will attempt the tie. There's the snap. The kick is good. And it's a 7-7 tie with 1 minute, 11 seconds left to go in the first half. More from the Met in 60 seconds.
One of the really good inflation fighters is a savings account. The more you save, the less you spend. That's good for fighting inflation, and it's good for you. And when you save at a savings and loan association, your money is used primarily to help people build and buy homes. That's where money is really needed today. And that's where money really works hard to build a solid economy. So don't give up on inflation. Fight back. Save a little more than you think you can. That money will grow. It's guaranteed to grow. And that helps you stay ahead of inflation. But most important, you are putting that money safely to work where it is needed the most in our country, helping people to build and buy homes. So fight back at inflation. Save money. The money you save at a savings and loan association works hard for you and your country, too. This message was presented in the interest of the savings and loan industry by Twin City Federal in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Well, a brand new ball game. 7-7 as the Vikes get set to kick it off to St. Louis with 1:11 left to go in the first half. Metcalf is the deep man. They also have Gary Hammond back on the left side. And I can't tell who the third deep man is on the near side. We'll pick it up if they kick it to him.
Man to be staring into the face of that kick team.
Cox line drives it into the wedge, and it's taken by a linebacker who puts it back to Metcalf. He's at the 30, the 35, and he's hit, bounces off, and then goes down at the 37-yard line. The ball was fielded initially by Greg Hartle, the second-string middle linebacker behind Mark Arneson, and he did a wise thing. He flipped it back to Metcalf, the one they want to carry the mail. And Metcalf got it back out across the 37-yard line. 1:04 to go in the first half. 7-7 tie, the Vikings and the Cardinals.
Well, the Cardinals will be going into 2-minute offense now with the minute 4 remaining. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. They'll love nothing better to get in at least field goal position here.
Thomas wide to the left, Mel Gray wide to the near side. Deuce backfield, Otis and Metcalf, who's the man to watch along with Mel Gray, who's the deep threat. Back to pass, Jim Hart. Swings it out of the backfield to Metcalf, catches it over his shoulder to the 30, the 35, steps away, cuts back across the 40, still bobbing and weaving, and gets to the 44-yard line. Matt Blair finally hauled him down. Doug Sutherland make it 69 instead of 59.
Take a timeout here, Joe. Yes, they do. They're going to take one of their timeouts. 49 seconds left. They still have 2 remaining.
Well, they picked up 7 on that little swing out of the backfield on the left side behind the line to Terry Metcalf. He is an exciting football player. He probably has the best lateral moves of any running back in the NFL.
Well, it's Foreman and Metcalf right now. This way it's stacking up as a great match here. Metcalf has got 41 yards rushing and 10 carries. He's picked up 35 yards on 2 catches. So possibly both Terry Metcalf and Chuck Foreman will probably go over the 100 yards today combined.
Well, they'll be teammates in about a month from now in that Pro Bowl game.
Foreman already has 92 yards in offense. He's caught 3 for 28, 64 yards on the ground.
Well, they've got the original Viking down there in the St. Louis camp, the team trainer out there with nothing on but a little short-sleeved red shirt, and he trots off to the far sidelines. I don't know whether that's for a psychological boost to the Cardinals or not. Of course, Bill Brown, of course, as everyone knows, up in Viking land, always used to play without the sweatshirt or anything, the short sleeves, no matter how cold and miserable it was up here. Well, it's 2nd down 3. The Cardinals own the ball just shy of their own 45-yard line. We have 49 seconds left to go in the first half. It's deadlocked at 7-all. Gray wide to the near side. Split wide to the left is Earl Thomas, who caught a 13-yard touchdown strike from Jim Hart on the last possession. Now it's a double wing right as Metcalf moves in the slot. Hart dropping straight back to pass. Pump, throws, long one, underthrown and behind Mel Gray, who tried to come back for it at the 35. He was covered by Jeff Wright. Nate Wright was too far out on the sidelines. The ball was underthrown. It'll be 3rd down.
A deep hook, about a 15-yard hook, Joe. He would have been open, but he lost his footing at the 35.
The field a little gummy. 44 seconds left to go in the first half. It's 3rd down and 3. Al Roberts, who has done an outstanding job of putting the Cardinals in great field position defensively, is loosening up on the sideline in case he has to punt it away. Twice he's kicked the ball inside the 2-yard line. Kane wide to the left, Gray wide to the near side right. 3rd down 3. Cardinals at their own 45. On a fake. Give this to Metcalf. Looking for running room. He fox in, but he cuts back. And finally goes down at the 47 or 8-yard line. He appears to have the first down. Jeff Seaman had him blocked off in the backfield, but Metcalf eluded him, and Carl Eller finally caught him as Metcalf got upfield, and it looks like he did pick up the first down. We have the precise angle on this one, and they do pick up the first down by the width of the ball at their own 48-yard line. And the Cardinals take their second time out. They have one remaining with 27 seconds left to go in a very exciting first half. Tomorrow, we've already indicated that Oakland hosts Miami later on today. Tomorrow on the other first-round NFC game, the wild card team, the Washington Redskins, are at Los Angeles against the Western champion Rams. And the Skins pretty handily defeated Los Angeles 2 weeks ago at the same Coliseum. And in the AFC first-round game tomorrow, the Eastern champion Pittsburgh Steelers, with that awesome front four, take on the wild card team, the Buffalo Bills, with the incomparable O.J. Simpson at Pittsburgh. The winner of this game today, whether it be St. Louis or the Minnesota Vikings, will host the NFC Championship game a week from tomorrow. And, of course, the Vikings are very hopeful of winning this one today, and will be right back here at the Met if they can do just that, to take on the winner of the Washington-Los Angeles game. St. Louis has it on their own 48-yard line. 27 seconds left to go. They have one timeout remaining in the first half. It's 7-7. Gray comes wide to the right. Earl Thomas splits wide to the left. Metcalf going to line up in the slot as a double wing. Now he drops back into the deuce. Now he shifts, delayed into the double wing right. Hart dropping back to pass. Looks, throws a turnout to Thomas, who makes the grab, and he goes out of bounds at the 41-yard line in Viking territory. They hook back in front of Jackie Wallace.
Oh, fine catch that time by Thomas on a sideline pattern. Little hook, and he went to the outside. Hart was right on target. Pickup of about 11 yards. That'll be another first down for the Cardinals. They have one timeout remaining. 20 seconds left here in the first half.
Well, the big thing about that pass, not only the yardage gained, but the fact that Thomas did get out of bounds with it. It's at the Viking 41-yard line.
Snow flurries now starting to come down, Joe. But it's still not that cold.
Well, we've got some ice skaters down below us where they have the Minnesota Twin insignia normally here at the Met. They've got a little ice rink there. Double slot right again. Now Hart backing away, looking both left and right. Now he sets them, and he drops back to pass from the Viking 41. He throws a sideline to the near side. Gray caught it out of bounds at the 24-yard line as Nate Wright backed way off of Mel that time, and Gray caught it and stepped out of bounds. He was wide open.
Joe, fine pass protection again, enabling Jim Hart to just sit back there and pick his teeth. At a sideline pattern on the right side, Camaro Gray, he was wide open. Of course, they're trying to protect against the bomb, the 7 points. Now they're well within Jim Backen's field goal range here.
That's Gray's first reception of the afternoon. And now it's on the Viking 24-yard line with 15 seconds to go. First down, Big Red. The Vikings going with that 14-man defensive huddle, but the three break to the sidelines. They stay in the conventional 4-man front. Hart back to pass. Winds up, throws in the middle, and it's caught at the 7-yard line. Again,
out now.
Mel Gray with his second straight catch. Wallace made the tackle on the play, but it's first and goal St. Louis at the Viking 6-yard line with 6 seconds to go.
Well, see, actually, they could really have time for one quick play, Joe. A turnout or a slant. They can get that off well within 6 seconds. But again, the coaches are just a little bit leery. You know, the clock, they might let it run down that extra second or two, and they might blow an opportunity for a field goal, so they're going to bring Bakken in right here.
Well, they have no timeouts remaining, and that's really the key, because you can run a playoff in less than 6 seconds, but if the man does not get out of bounds and he stops short of the goal line, you're out of luck, as well as time. And so Bakken is in to try for the field goal. Paul mentioned it a bit earlier. He is 13 out of 22 in the regular season, as long as the 47 yards. Former quarterback at Wisconsin. Worley will hold. The kick will come from the 13, a 23-yard kick. There's the snap. There's the ball. There's the kick. It's up, and it is no good. He hooks it wide to the left and 23 yards out.
I don't think Bakken believes it either, Joe. He's a disgusted man right now. Bakken hooked it to the left. What a break for the Vikings.
Oh.
I tell you, that young man won't do that too often. I'll tell you that. He was 13 out of 22. His longest field goal coming from 47 yards this year, and he just missed a chip shot.
Well, he's one of 5 players in the National Football League history to score more than 1,000 points. 1,074 for Mr. Bakken, but he never missed a bigger one right there.
It's not easy to miss one from there.
Well, there's 3 seconds left to go in the first half, and it looks like the Vikings are going to be lucky to escape with a 7-7 tie here at half. Gilliam wide to the right, Leish wide to the left. Tarkington just falls on the ball. And there's the end of the first half. And Counsel Rudolph exchanges some pleasantries with Dave Osborne as the gun sounds, and the teams head to their respective locker rooms. The end of the first half here at Metropolitan Stadium in snowy Bloomington, Minnesota, with a score. The Minnesota Vikings 7, the St. Louis Cardinals 7. Let's pause for 1 minute on the Vikings KSTP radio network. There's a kickoff by Freddie Cox, heading for the far side. Metcalf in a crowd, and he's got the ball at the 20, behind some blockers at the 25, cuts back and gets to the 28-yard line. Make it the 29, where he's piled up by Fred McNeil, the rookie linebacker from UCLA, with help from a couple other purple jerseys down there. Brent McClanahan also in there, and it'll be first down St. Louis on their own 29. The Vikings lead it for the first time this afternoon. Set up by Jeff Wright's interception, and ultimately put in front by Fred Cox's 37-yard field goal.
As the defense, Joe, are going up. I'd like to get the attendance here. I don't think there's that many no-shows here today.
Boy, you don't see very many. All right. Wide to the near side, Gray. Now they shift in the double slot right with Metcalf as a double wing right. Wide to the left is Earl Thomas. Hart hands off to Otis. Turns the corner, falls, and he cuts across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Pretty good block that time by Terry Metcalf. Had a standoff.
Jeff Wright gets credit for the tackle, but Otis lost his footing as he tried to cut back in as he turned the corner. He picked up about 2 yards. It's 2nd down and 9. The Cardinals have not had bad field position all day, and Jack Blasey, to my right, who handles the phones for us in the broadcasting booth, says this might well have been St. Louis's worst field position of the day, starting out on their own 29. Now Jackie Smith, who has not been thrown to today, the tight end, slips wide to the left.
Unusual, Joe.
Right.
They have not gone to the fine tight end.
Well, the double wing with the tight end split. The pitch to Metcalf.
Almost.
He did. He closed it up to Mike Thomas, and he's ready to score.
To see that on replay, Joe. I don't know if it was Wally Hilgenberg knocked the ball loose again from Metcalf, or it was Marshall. But anyway, Nate Wright picked up the football, went right down the left sidelines, and he went in, right in the corner for the touchdown. A big break and 2 turnovers here early in the second half will account for 10 Viking points.
Nate Wright picked that up at about the 18-yard line and carried it in the near sideline just across the goal line, and the Vikings now lead it 16-7. Fred Cox will try for the extra point. There's the snap. There's the kick by Freddie the Foot. And it's 17-7. The Vikings lead it. Nate Wright officially a 20-yard return on the recovered fumble for the touchdown. And with 10:29 left to go in the third period, which is all of a sudden blown up in the Big Red's faces, the score is 17-7. The Vikes lead it. Let's pause for 1 minute on the Minnesota Viking KSTP Radio Network.
Bringing you good Viking fans football on radio is just one of the good things Twin City Federal does for you. Here's another. And it's really a great idea for you savers who want to earn extra interest on your money. Now, I'm talking about TCF's new telephone transfer service. This unique service enables you to transfer money from your TCF Past Card Savings account, where it earns daily interest, to your checking account whenever you need it to cover a check. And it's all done by a simple phone call to Twin City Federal. By using TCF's telephone transfer service, you can keep those dollars that would otherwise be earning no interest, working hard, earning extra interest in a TCF Past Card Savings account. Earning interest until you need money to cover a check. It's great for your personal funds, or, if you're a businessman, for surplus company funds. There's no cost for this unique TCF service. So find out about it wherever those famous twin clocks flash the time and the temperature.
Joe McConnell and Paul Horling back at the astonished Metropolitan Stadium. The Vikings, 1 minute to the second after Fred Cox's field goal, score again. The first touchdown of the year for Nate Wright. His last interception was 10 games ago.
And he led the league for at least half a season on 6 interceptions.
Well, he didn't intercept this one, but he was Johnny on the spot, or maybe more apropos, Nate on the spot, as he picked up Metcalf's fumble and raced 20 yards for the touchdown. So the Vikings have scored 10 points in a minute and lead it 17-7. Cox kicks off again. Metcalf waits for it at the 10. Behind the wedge to the 20. 25, cuts to the left, back up the middle of the 30, and up to the 35-yard line. Bill Brown, the special teams captain, the 14-year bow-legged veteran from Illinois, the last of the original Flat Tops, made the tackle on the play. First down, St. Louis on their own 35. The Vikings, all of a sudden, after trailing 7-0 late in the first half, then lucky to get out with a 7-7 tie at the half, the Vikes have now suddenly shot in front 17-7.
They got that veteran lineup. Matt Blair has been replaced today by Roy Winston on the left side. They got Hilgenberg, Seaman, and Winston.
Wide. Wide to the left is Earl Thomas. Mel Gray wide to the near side right. Hart will now be forced to throw. Swings it out to Metcalf on the left side. He gets a block. Cuts back at the 35. Breaks one tackle and gets to the 39. Big pileup.
A real tough 4 yards to pick up on a little screen pass, a swing screen out to the left side, letting his offensive lineman on the left side get out in front of him.
Roy Winston and Sutherland brought him down. Second down, 6, a gain of 4. Alan Page was blocked out of the play in the backfield, as Metcalf did manage to turn in the corner and work it for 4 yards. The ball at the Big Red 39. Now it's J.B. Kane wide to the left. Mel Gray wide to the near side, and Jackie Smith, their fine tight end, is also split wide to the near side. Smith split about 5 yards. They've not thrown to him today, which is quite a surprise. He caught 25 during the regular season. Hart back to pass. Quick square out on the left side, and it's trapped incomplete at the 46-yard line, intended for Kane, and Hart threw it into the muddy turf here at the Met. It'll be third down and 6 yards to go. And if the Vikings can hold them here and march down for another score, the route might be on. Here comes Lutz McConnell and Terry Brown in as the Vikings go with a 14-man huddle. We'll wait and see now whether they go with their 5-man pass rush with the 6 defensive backs. Well, they're sending Hilgenberg out right now, along with Seaman and Winston, the linebacker, so they'll go with a 5-man front. It's third down and 6. The Cardinals on their own 39. Double wing. Smith is also split. Rolling to the right now as Hart swings it out in the right flat. Overshoots with intended receiver Mel Gray. Nate Wright was covering on the play. It's fourth down 6. That was a turnout to the near side at the 47.
A little bit high at that time. 5'9". Mel Gray could have used about 2 or 3 more inches, and it would have been a completed pass. Is this the first punt for St. Louis today? I think it is.
No. It's the first one in the second half. Of course, the 2 punts that Roberts kicked in the first half bottled the Cardinals up both times.
Right at the 1 yard line.
Roberts in the punt. averaging 40 yards in the first half on 2 kicks, one that was dead at the Viking 1, the other one at the Viking 1.5. He'll not get it there this time unless he kicks the hide out of it. There's a snap back, there's a kick, and he did not get a good one. He shanked it. It bounces at the 38, inside the 35, and it's going to roll dead at the Viking 33-yard line, where the Purple Gang will put it in play, leading it 17-7.
Wally right in the middle of another pile-up.
That's a 28-yard kick by Hal Roberts, his first poor effort of the day after 2 sensational kicks in the first half. He kind of squibbed that one off the right side of his foot. The Vikings have it just across the 33-yard line. We'll call it the 34. 9:13 left to go in the third period. The Vikings have scored here twice, both times set up with a defense. One on an interception, which led to a field goal. The other on a fumble recovery and return for the touchdown. Gilliam wide to the near side left, but wide to the right is Jim Lash. Here's the call now by Tarkenton. And he fakes the line. He drops back. The pass goes along with intended for Lash. And it's intercepted and dropped by Norm Thompson, who led the secondary for St. Louis with 6 interceptions on the year, and he had a better shot at that than the intended receiver, Jim Lash. His Fran hung that one up a little bit at the Big Red 30-yard line. Thompson, a 4-year veteran from Utah, had intercepted 6 passes for 190 yards. He'd run one back, 56 yards for a touchdown. So it's 2nd and 10 as Fran went to the bomb on the first play. The Vikes have won 6 NFC Central Division titles in the last 7 years. They've been to the Super Bowl twice. They've not come up with that big gold ring, and they're hoping to this year. This is the Cardinals' first playoff game of any kind since 1948 when they were back in Chicago. The last title was in 47, the Charlie Clippy era. Tarkenton inside the 40, breaks it at the 40, 45, and up ended at the 49-yard line.
14-yard pickup by Chuck Foreman.
Hey, let me tell you, he was one ankle from going all the way, but Clarence Duran tripped him up at the 46-yard line, and Foreman stumbled and fell at the 49, or he might have broken that one all the way.
I think he's going to get his 100 yards today, Joe. He's got 83 and 15 carries. He's over the 100-yard combination day. He's got 28 yards on 3 catches. So that gives him 111 yards in offense today. Great day for Chuck Foreman.
First down, Vikes on their own 49. Gilliam wide to the right, Lash wide to the near side. And Fran drops back to pass. Stays in the cup, throws along one intended for Gilliam. This time down the far side. He's got it. No, he's out of bounds. He caught it at the 10. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He beat Norm Thompson down the right sideline, but Fran hung it up just a little long.
Yeah. It's a percentage pass, Joe. When you throw the bomb along the sidelines, you'll always see the quarterback a lot of times lead a guy right to the almost the out of bounds. And why is that? To protect against the interception. Very, very close call there. As you said, Gilliam had Thompson beat by a step going down the right sideline. Fran just stood just a little bit too close to the sidelines. He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Ed White is back in the lineup after apparently having his ankle stepped on in the last series. And that's good news for Viking fans. 2nd down, 10. The ball at the Viking 49-yard line. Double wing, slot left. Here's the call. Fran drops back to pass on 2nd and 10. Throws it out. Caught by Stu Voigt, the tight end. He bounces off the first man and gets to the 40-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds.
That's going to be a first down, too, Joe.
He was pinned at the 45. He bounced away from Jimmy Talbert and picked up the necessary yardage, I believe. It's going to be very close.
They're going to mark it back a little bit now. It's going to be close. I think he's going to be about the length of a football short.
That's the first grab today for Stu Voigt, who caught 32 during the regular season. Good for 5 touchdowns and 268 yards. And they're going to measure. They bring the chains in all the way from the near sidelines across the way in front of the Cardinal bench to measure on this play.
The preliminary indications, the referee marked it a little bit closer to the 40, but they moved it back a little bit now. So I think they're going to come up just a little bit short. That's it. They need about 4 inches.
Well, it'll be 3rd down and inches to go. The ball just outside the St. Louis Cardinal 40-yard line. 8:15 left to go in the third period. The Vikings on the move again after taking a 10-point lead thanks to the defensive unit on an interception and a fumble return. Gilliam and Lash are out as Kingsrider and Alderman come in to block up front. 3rd down and less than a yard. A matter of inches. Well, they break the huddle. Tarkington brings them up. Lash and Osborne, the running back. Kingsrider, the wing on the right side. Everyone bunched in tight.
Oh, he can throw it here.
Brand gives out. Adu dives for the first down. Across the 40. Taking Chuck Foreman down to about the 37. He's just hurdled the line of scrimmage. A great dive by Chuck Foreman for the first down. And it's at the Big Red 38. First down, Vikings. Chuck Foreman having possibly his greatest game of the year, at least as a runner.
I'll tell you one thing. Again, they're going off the defensive left side.
They've worked it over all day. Now Gilliam splits wide to the right. Jim Lash again comes wide to the near side left. First down for the Vikes on the St. Louis 38-yard line. Brand Tarkington drops back to pass. Sets up, throws the home run.
He's got it.
For Gilliam, he's got it for the touchdown. Down the right side, he beat his man by 5 yards.
Well, if you don't succeed once. Brand Tarkington experience of 14 years. He had beaten Thompson a couple of times earlier on the fly pattern. He comes right back to him. And Gilliam was really streaking down the right sideline, Joe. Just that smooth gait. A real beautiful stride, and he just went by him. Beautiful pass by Tarkington. 23-7, and a 17-point burst here in the first 8 minutes of the third period. You could really put this ball game out of reach.
A 38-yard touchdown pass. Tarkington to John Gilliam, who is having quite an afternoon against his former teammates. 66 yards in 7 plays. The snap, the kick, no good. It hit the upright.
You're kidding.
So Fred Cox has missed another extra point, his 8th of the year. But the score now remains with 7:32 to go in the third period. The Vikings 23 and the St. Louis Cardinals 7. More from the Met in 60 seconds.
Here is an important point we want to make again and again and again. One of the really good inflation fighters is a savings account. When people save more money, it eases the pressures to raise prices. When people save more money, it creates new capital, the kind of capital needed to finance a productive economy. When you save at a savings and loan association, for example, those savings are used primarily to help build and buy homes. That's where capital is really needed today in the hard-pressed housing industry. When this country is building homes, it is building a solid economy, an inflation-fighting economy. And you are helping when you save at a savings and loan association. You are helping yourself. You are helping your country. Fight back at inflation. Save a little more than ever before. This message was presented in the interest of the savings and loan industry by Twin City Federal of Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Metcalf is deep, waiting for the kickoff from Fred Cox, who might be getting a little leg weary all of a sudden with the sudden work here in the third period. Still got 7.5 to go. There's the kick. This one's a deep one. Metcalf waits for it at the 6, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and he's buried at the 27 or 8-yard line.
Fred McNeil, first one down, and he has done a good job on a special team.
Yes, he has. He's been on 3 or 4 of those tackles. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Vikings Football Network.
21 degrees in the Twin Cities, west winds at 14, some light snow, high tomorrow, 20 to 25. KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis at 2:02.
First down, St. Louis on the 29. Thomas wide to the near side. Split wide to the left is Mel Gray. The Cardinals are going to have to pass now, trailing 23-7. High formation. Jim Hart, the quarterback. Now in motion away from the line and going to the left side is Metcalf. Hart drops back to pass. Pumps once. Right feet. 18-yard line by Doug Sutherland, who cut him in half.
I tell you, Marshall was also there. Eller was there. The 3 men really beat. I think they had a double team on Alan Page, but Sutherland almost cut Hart right in half.
Well, they spotted at the St. Louis 20-yard line. A loss of 10 at 2nd and 20.
Joe, I just hate to say this, but I think poise is beginning to show now. The Vikings have been in the playoffs the last 6 out of 7 years. This is the first trip for St. Louis since 1948. And they're not really out of it yet, but if they start throwing their game plan to the winds, is just start really throwing it helter-skelter pass patterns, they could really get beat bad from here on in.
Kane wide to the left. Gray wide to the near side. Hart again back to pass on 2nd and 20. Big rush. Sutherland looked like he was held. Hart throws as he's hit by Jimmy Marshall. Incomplete as he overshot his receiver on the far sideline.
Oh, Jackie Wallace was smelling 7 points. If that pass again, if Hart had not thrown that football over the pass receiver's head, Wallace had a great beat on it and was coming up from about the 30-yard line. He could have made the interception, and it was all over then.
Boy, Sutherland was really held on that play, but they got away with it. He got hooked and pulled down just as he was about to get to the quarterback, Jimmy Hart. And then Hart was hit from behind by Marshall just as he threw the ball. It's 3rd down, 20 yards to go. The Big Red now beleaguered team as the Vikings are just pounding them and swarming them here in the 3rd period, both offensively and defensively.
How am I going to get a reservation back up here after Christmas?
Wide to the left is Mel Gray. Wide to the near side is Earl Thomas. I already had mine. In motion goes Metcalf. Hart again back to pass. Swings it out in the left flat to Metcalf. He's one-on-one. And he gets out of bounds at the 22-yard line as Jeff White hung in there and made the tackle. A gain of about 3 yards.
More important, it is 4th down.
17 yards to go, and credit Jeff Wright.
Listen to the hand. The people here are standing up for the defense.
Credit Jeff Wright with a great one-on-one tackle along the sidelines with Mr. Metcalf. 4th and 17, and the Cardinals are forced to kick it away again. The Vikings have exploded for 16 points in the first 5.5 minutes of the second half, and they lead it 23-7.
They got a short man up about the 48-yard line. In case it is kicked short, Wallace will make the fair catch.
The Vikes have 3 men back. There's the snap, and there's the kick. A high kick, but not too deep. A lazy can of corn. But it bounces as Nate Wright lets it go. It bounced at the Viking 45, and it's going to roll dead at about the 40-yard line in Viking territory. And now the game has really turned in favor of the Vikes. Field position as well.
Didn't want any part of that punt. They could have called for a fair catch, Joe, and probably got it about the 45 yards. They're lucky they didn't get a bounce a little bit further against them there. Ball only bounced 5 yards.
Well, it's a soft field, and that gave St. Louis 2 big breaks in the first half. First down for the Vikes on their own 40-yard line. 6:29 left to go in the 3rd period. And needless to say, this has been the pivotal period of this ball game. The Vikes break out of the huddle, sending Jim Lash wide to the right. Gilliam again wide to the near side. He is pulled in 2 Tarkington touchdown crosses today. Fran hands off the Foreman on the sweep to the right side, turns the corner, cuts outside across the 45 and stumbles across the 50-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds. A 10-yard sweep to the right, and he's close now. I think he's over the 90-yard mark.
95 yards and 17 carries. You know, Fran has really warmed up here. He's 8 out of 15 now for 111 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 1 of 16 yards to John Gilliam on a rollout right, and then a 38-yard bomb.
First down for the Vikes on the St. Louis 49-yard line. A pickup of 11 by Chuck Foreman. Wide to the right goes Gilliam. Again, Lash wide to the near side. The Purple Gang right now really putting it on St. Louis here in the 3rd period. A call by Fran Tarkington. He gives to Foreman again. He cuts to the right side where they've been working all day, and he gets about 3 yards to the 46-yard line.
So you're playing on the defensive right side of the St. Louis Cardinals. You've got to be wondering. They just never run at you. Ron Yankowski hasn't been mentioned too much. Pete Barnes, the only time we've mentioned his name is in a passing situation when he's been around the play. Only because it's a Viking running offense is really running away from that defensive right side. They're really working on Leo Brooks, Council Rudolph, and Larry Stallings.
All right, it's 2nd down and a short 8. The ball is the St. Louis 46. The give now to Ozzie. He breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, battles across the 40 to the 39, but a penalty flag is thrown.
Again, on the right side of the offense.
Looks like Ed White again.
It's going to be a holding call against the Vikings.
Oh, that's too bad because Ozzie had really battled for about 6 to 7 yards and was close to the first down at the St. Louis 39. It'll be a 10-yard offensive holding call against the Vikes. In this half, the St. Louis Cardinals have had possession of the football 4 times for 44 seconds, for 42 seconds, 56 seconds, and 41 seconds. They haven't had it too long. 10-yard penalty marked off against the Vikes. Takes it back into purple territory at the 44, making it second down 18. 5:03 to go in the third period. 23-7, the Vikes lead it. If you were listening to the first half and came back in late, you probably don't believe the score, but that's exactly what it is. 23-7 after a 7-7 tie at halftime.
Vikings had it 7.5 minutes, Joe, and St. Louis 3.
Gilliam wide to the right, Lash wide to the near side. They've not thrown in Jimmy's direction but once today, and it was almost picked off on a deep pass pattern.
I'll bet he gives him some room this time. They got him double covered. They got Gilliam double covered.
And wings it down the middle, incomplete, intended for Stu Voigt, the tight end. He was double covered on the play by the linebackers, Arneson and Stallings, and the ball was thrown wisely into the ground.
I tell you, he came right back. He was going to throw a bomb on the right side with Gilliam against Thompson again, Joe, but the St. Louis defense had rotated into a zone on that side with their safety man, Jim Talbert, covering Gilliam deep.
Steve George is in replacing Counsel Rudolphs in that front four now for the Cardinals. It's third down 18. The Vikes on their own 44-yard line. Lash wide to the near side, split wide to the right is Gilliam. And a double wing right. Yes, he's in the slot to the right. Carson to bootlegs and comes back to the left side. Looking downfield. He throws, and it's intercepted by Roger Woolley. He stepped in front of Gilliam to make the interception. Yuri hauls him down from behind at the big red 48-yard line. There's the second interception by the St. Louis secondary of the day. Worley had intercepted 2 during the regular season. The ball was intended for Gilliam. Worley played it beautifully, stepped in front of John, picked it off, and returned it back up to his own 48-yard line.
I won't say too many days for Fran Tarkenton. He'll throw 2 interceptions in one game, and we still have 4:47 to go here in the third period. Actually, over the year, he's averaged, Joe, 1 interception per 30 attempts throwing the football. So he's got 2 interceptions in 16 attempts now.
First down, St. Louis, and this is their best field position of the second half. Thomas wide to the left, Gray wide to the right, and the give is to Otis, who bangs across the 50, grabbed by Alan Page and hauled in. Reeled in like a big cod at the 48-yard line. A gain of about 4, second down along 6. 4:35 left to go in the third period. The Vikings scored very quickly as they kicked off to St. Louis. On the second play, Hart was intercepted by Jeff Wright, who returned it to the Cardinal 44-yard line, and that set up a Fred Cox field goal. Then, 1 minute exactly after the Vikings had gone in front for the first time, Metcalf trapped behind the line on a sweep, lost the ball. Nate Wright picked it up and scampered 20 yards for a touchdown. Wide to the near side, J.B. Kane. Wide to the left, Gray. And a give to Otis. He's got a little running room, and he barges off of one man, bangs inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. Alan Page made the tackle. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down, maybe 2. Foreman officially in the ballgame now has carried 17 times for a net of 98. The ball is at the Viking 44-yard line, third down 2, St. Louis. They have not picked up a first down in the third period. Very few no-shows here at snowy Metropolitan Stadium today. And they're chanting defense, defense. Wide to the left goes Earl Thomas. Wide to the near side is Mel Gray on 3rd and 2. Hart has kept it on the ground in this series. And he fakes to Otis, pumps once, twice, throws a long run intended for Mel Gray. He can't reach it, it's out of bounds. Gray had beaten Nate Wright on a corner pattern down the near sidelines, but Hart hung it up and threw it long and wide.
Again, the quarterback throwing the bomb on the right side. Now, if he would have led him to the post a little bit more, Joe, it could have been 7. But again, you'll see most of your quarterbacks, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, they'll throw it close to the sideline to protect against the interception. But Hart should have realized that he had his man beaten that time.
All he had to do, he hung it up well enough, but he threw it too far to the sidelines. Mel Gray had Nate Wright beaten by about 3 strides. He could have run under the ball and gathered it in for a touchdown.
McCollum will be probably closest to the punt here, depending on which side he's going to kick it out. He'd sure like to feather it down inside the 10.
Well, 3 men are deep, and Hal Roberts gets the kick away. A very high hanging kick, not too deep. And Nate Wright calls for the fair catch at the Viking 14-yard line.
Wisely.
And went down on one knee to make sure. So the Vikes will take it over 1st and 10 on the Minnesota 14-yard line with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the third period. The score, the Vikings 23, the St. Louis Cardinals 7. for the Vikings on the 14-yard line. Gilliam wide to the right. Flash wide to the near side left. Handoff goes to Ozzie. Cuts back in as he tried the left side, which is the right side of the St. Louis defensive alignment. One of the few times they've come back to the left side, and he picked up about 3 or 4 yards. Mark Arneson, the middle linebacker, a very active middle linebacker.
Arneson's been very active today, Joe. We mentioned he only weighed 223 pounds, but he's playing behind a pretty big defensive line, especially on the inside with Brooks and Rowe both about 270 pounds, and Arneson is really a pretty active linebacker. Now they go in the odd man set, head up one defensive tackle, head up Fingelhoff.
Second down 5 as Ozzie got to the 19. Carson rolls to the right. He's going to run. Now he throws on the run. He caught to Gilliam. It goes out of bounds, and he's out of bounds when he made the grab, and a penalty flag is thrown. And it looks like it may be an offensive holding call again. Fran almost had the corner turn, and he might have been across the line of scrimmage. That's what the flag is, I believe.
Yeah, the pass was incomplete. Gilliam could not hold on as he went out of bounds.
Fran was beyond the line of scrimmage.
Beyond the line of scrimmage.
Well, he was running full speed ahead.
It's going to be a loss of a down.
Well, it was 2nd and 5 at the 19, and Fran did throw that ball at about the 20-yard line. Can't imagine why he would throw it at that point when he had about 4 or 5 more yards of daylight in front of him. So it's a 5-yard penalty, loss of down, making it 3rd and 10, and it moves back to the Viking 14-yard line.
Ball back at the 14-yard line.
2:31 to go in the 3rd period. Well, if the Cardinals can hold here and gain good field position, the next possession becomes very important. Should they score, they could get their way back into the ball game. Gilliam wide to the right, Flash wide to the left. Fran drops straight back to pass, has time, swings it out to Ozzie at the 15, he's to the 20, and pulls his way up to the 23-yard line, but he's going to be maybe about a yard shy of the first down. He just lowered his head and hurdled the last 2 or 3 yards trying to get the first down, but he's a yard short. It's 4th and 1, and the Vikes will be forced to punt it away.
Number 2.
Joe, Aishaw's got a pretty good wind at his back here. Let's see if he can get his foot into one. Again, keep in mind, Terry Metcalf, the only man back on punt return for the Cardinals.
Metcalf has averaged better than 13 yards on 26 punt returns, as long as the 43 yards. He led the league in kickoff returns. With 20 kickoff returns, he averaged better than 31 yards, including a 94-yard kickoff return for a touchdown during the season. So he is explosive every time he gets his hands on the ball.
He's fumbled twice today, too.
Yes, he has. A big one.
Turned in for a score with Nate Wright. The other, the Cardinals recovered.
There's a snap. Aishai gets the kick away. Line drive. Moving kick. Metcalf back at the 31. Now, 31-yard line.
Beautiful kick.
And beautiful coverage. The Vikings got down very quickly. It was not a very high kick, but it was a long driving kick.
About a 45-yard kick.
46 to be precise. One of his longest punts of the year. And now the Cardinals will put it in play, 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line. 3 Vikings got down there very quickly as Metcalf was driven clear to the far side and had to come back to the near side, and the Vikings got down with some great pursuit to nail him for no gain. 1 minute and 34 seconds left to go in the 3rd period. The Cardinals now are forced with almost a must-score situation on this possession. They trail 23-7. Gray wide to the near side. Split wide to the left is Earl Thomas, who's had a good afternoon. Double wing, slot right. Otis is in the slot this time. Metcalf is the setback. Dropping back is Hart. Looking for Metcalf, and it's knocked down by Jimmy Marshall. Marshall put the heat on. Hart tried to sidearm it and throw it right into him.
Number 60, Roger Finney from Florida A&M, a 6-year veteran, playing left tackle, Joe. Our left guard, they had trying to block Marshall. He just really defeated him easily. Hart did not have a chance.
We ought to mention the fact that the old-timer on the St. Louis team, Ernie McMillan, the offensive captain, a 14-year veteran from Illinois, is not dressed today. He had a pinched nerve in his neck and is missing this ball game. St. Louis's first playoff game in his long career.
What a great guy, too, and a great leader for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Kane wide to the left, Gray wide to the near side right, 2nd and 10. Hart back to pass, now swings it out of the backfield.
Oh, is he hit by Seaman and Hilgenberg?
Oh, baby. That was Jim Otis, and he just got high load and really planted over there. And let me tell you, Marshall put another tremendous rush on and almost knocked that pass down. Well, it's going to be third down still for St. Louis, and 10 yards to go. The ball in the Big Red, 31 and a half.
15 years of professional football. Number 70 from Ohio State. I tell you, at Ohio State, they turn out some football players. Wow.
Marshall still has his consecutive game string going also. We've lost track of it. It's up around 210 now. The longest in the NFC. Thomas wide to the left. Wide to the near side is Gray on 3rd and 11. Call it. And Hart drops back to pass again. Big rush. Sutherland grabs it. He gets away. He throws a long one intended for Gray. And it is caught by Gray. He comes back to the 40. Running laterally. And he's finally hit from behind and dropped at the Viking 40-yard line.
Sutherland had a real shot at Jim Hart. Coming in from Hart's right side. He got a hold of Hart, but Hart sprung free and found Mel Gray. Threw it up for grabs, really, Joe. Gray just made a real good one-on-one effort for the football and came up with it first down.
Well, he was covered by 2 Viking defenders, but he managed to come back for the ball. He caught it as deep as the 35 and came all the way back outside the 40 and was finally nailed at the Viking 40-yard line. A big gain for St. Louis. The gun sounds ending the third quarter, which has been virtually all Minnesota. The Vikings score 16 here in the third period, and with 1 quarter to go, they lead the Cardinals 23-7. Play continues in 1 minute on the Minnesota Vikings KSTP radio network.
Stay happy, have a happy day today. Work better, live better, the Twin City Federal way. Make your money work for you, to do the things you want to do. Think happy, stay happy, the Twin City Federal way. Think happy, stay happy, have a happy day.
One of the best names in watches is Walton. And right now, Twin City Federal makes it easy for you to own a Walton. With a qualifying deposit, you can take your choice at a remarkably low price.
Happy, stay happy, the Twin City Federal way.
Joe McConnell and Paul Horning back at the Met. And the attendance here today, despite the inclement weather, 44,626. So we have less than 4,000 no-shows at 37.96 to be exact.
That says a lot for these fans up here, Joe. Below 30-degree temperature, and Swede Olson can get the ribs ready over at Mama Lou's. I had a bet with him that they'd have over 40,000 today here for the game. So I'm going to get my little free rib dinner after the game.
That's a bit, yeah, I was going to say that's a big rib dinner.
He don't know what I'm going to do. I might, just buy dinner for everybody in the house and give him the check.
I'll be there. 1 quarter to go. 23-7, the Vikes lead it. The Cardinals have the ball on the Viking 40-yard line, thanks to a long completion to Mel Gray on a play that broke down in the backfield. His Hart eluded Doug Sutherland, who had a grasp on him.
So everybody in the stands can go over to Mama Lou's and get a free dinner. Swede gives them any trouble, just tell them to charge it to me. I'll take care of it.
Wide to the right now. Wide to the right is Mel Gray. Wide to the near side is J.B. Kane. Here's the call now by Jim Hart. Hart fakes into Otis. Back to pass. Swings it down the right sideline. Knocked away. Incomplete. Intended for Mel Gray. And a great play by Nate Wright, who knocked it away just in time.
Had a square out and go call. They rotated away from Mel Gray that time. They did have him a little deep coverage with Jeff Wright helping out. I tell you, not going to be too many times where Mel Gray is not going to have 2 men on him.
You know, we mentioned Gilliam being an ex-Cardinal. So is Nate Wright. And they have scored 3 touchdowns between them today. 14:55 left to go in this first-round NFC playoff game. The winner.
Sometimes these trades come back to haunt you, don't they?
The winner hosts the NFC Championship game a week from tomorrow against the winner of the Washington Redskin game at the Coliseum tomorrow. Double wing, slot left.
They'll get another interception here in the fourth period because Hart's really putting the football up in the air.
Well, Hart back to pass. Stays in the pocket, throws one out, and it's incomplete. It was caught by Thomas, but he came out of bounds on the near sidelines at about the 29. He was covered by Hilgenberg and Jackie Wallace.
13 out of 29 now for Hart for 142.
I got to mention Jackie Wallace today. A lot of the local fans up here have been on Jackie, and he's been burned a few times this year, but Wallace has played as well today, Paul, as he's played all year.
He really has. And again, the strangest thing in the St. Louis Cardinal offense, as far as I'm thinking, Joe, is Jackie Smith, their fine tight end, has not caught a pass. Gray has caught 4 for 62, and Thomas 4 for 47. But their fine tight end has not caught a pass.
3rd and 10, and Hart again back to pass. 5-man rush, big chase by Sullivan, swings it out, almost intercepted and dropped by number 81, Carl Eller. Oh, the rush was on, and Hart threw it up for grabs, but it's 4th down and 10.
Try that and again. As Eller says, I'll take another shot at it. He threw it right at Eller, a little high, went right through his hands. First downs now, even 13 apiece, rushing yards. St. Louis 89, Minnesota now starting to really get some yardage on the ground. 147 rushing. Total yards 266 for Minnesota, 226 for St. Louis. Number of plays, St. Louis 51, Minnesota 48.
Robertson to punt for the Cardinals. The Vikings again drop 2 men deep at the corners and Wallace in the middle. There's a snap. Roberts will try to feather it. He kicks it straight up in the air. A high-hanging punt, not too deep. It should be covered. Oh, it bounces into the end zone. That time the Cardinals had the man back, but it bounced at the 8 and scooted this time in across the goal line, and the Vikings will put it in play at the Minnesota 20-yard line. 14:34 left to go here in the final period. And the Vikings could possibly be about 14 and a half minutes away from hosting the NFC title game here a week from tomorrow.
And I hope they delay my trip to Hawaii at least till January the 12th. I'm sitting on goal. Not a bad spot to be, Joe, Hawaii.
I wouldn't know. I've heard it's nice. Slot left, Gilliam lining up inside Jim White, and now here comes Ozzie as a wing, and the double wing to the right. Foreman gives to... Or rather, Tarkinen gives to Foreman, who burrows underneath, veering to the right for about 2 yards, and that should put him at the century mark.
It does. 18 carries for 100 yards.
Counsel Rudolph made the tackle on the play. Will help.
You probably get an announcement here, and you're going to hear a cheer come up in the next 4 or 5 minutes, because Joe mentioned early, it's the first time this year that a Vikings running back gone over 100 yards. I think Ozzie had it once and
in
got
Chicago.
back to 98 yards, but
lost 4 in his last carry after he'd gone over the century mark. All right, slot left, high formation. 2nd down 8. Vikes on their own 22-yard line. And Fran keeps it on the ground, and he gives to Ozzie, who is nailed right at the line as he ran right into Big Bob Rose. 6'4", 270.
Didn't fool anybody that time. Going out of the I formation, Joe, they call it today a little misdirection, but it's a false trap play. The guards pull. They don't even block the defensive tackle, hoping that Brooks, who's playing head up Ed White, will go with White when he pulls to the right. And they hand the ball right there, hoping the defensive tackle will take himself out of the play. But he was not fooled.
No gain for Ozzie. It's still 3rd and 8. Let's hope the Vikings don't put their offense to bed right now. We've still got a quarter to play. Slot left, I formation. And Fran rolls to his right, looking, throws back in the middle, caught by Foreman at the 28. He beats the linebacker to the 35, to the 40, cuts back in and slips and falls. He makes the cut by Roger Worley and goes down at the Viking 42-yard line, but it's a 1st down.
He was going to smell the goal line that time, Joe. He would have beaten Worley hadn't he slipped.
Well, they mark it at the Viking 41, but it's still a 1st down for Minnesota. 12:50 and counting. Left to go in the ball game. The Vikes on top, 23-7.
4 pass catches now for Foreman for 48 yards. Caught 1 of 14, 1 6, 1 8, 1 this one for 20.
You know, despite the fact that he did not play at all in the final game and just a couple of plays in the game against Atlanta, he's still got to be high on the list for most valuable player. He scored 15 touchdowns to lead all of the NFL this year. High formation, slot left, and the give goes to the first man, Ozzie, and he gets the yard the hard way. Maybe 2 to about the 43. It's 2nd down 8. Council Rudolph again there to bring him down.
I tell you who's going to make it in the AFC. It'd be Kenny Stabler.
Already been voted the AFC Player of the Year.
That's what I said. I knew he was going to get it.
Less than 12 minutes remaining. And the Vikes break the huddle. Jim Lash splits wide to the left, and Gilliam, who has caught 2 big touchdown passes, wide to the near side right. He'll be operating against his old buddy Norm Thompson. Here's the call now by Carpenter. This backfield to give to Ozzie, who slants off the left side and gets across the 45 up to about the 47-yard line. Pete Barnes got an ankle. They'll bring him down.
Clock continuing to really play an important factor now. It's clicking down. 11:28 to go. Vikings would love nothing better, Joe, to really keep it on the ground with about 3 or 4 first downs. They'd settle here. That would run off at least 4 or 5 minutes off that clock.
Grady Alderman replaces Chuck Goodrum in the offensive line at left offensive tackle. It's 3rd down and 3 as Ozzie picked up 6 on the last carry. Gilliam wide to the left. Lash wide to the near side. Ozzie and Foreman have gone all the way at the running backs. And they fake. Rolling to the right is Tarkin being chased. Turns the corner, goes out of bounds at the 47-yard line. He was chased out of there by Big Bob Rowe, but really the heat was applied by Council Rudolph as they faked the inside slant, almost the counter rollout draw again that worked well in the first half to Foreman. And he kept coming to the near side looking downfield, but he lost about 3 as he ran out of bounds with it. And so it's 4th down and 6, and the Vikings are forced to punt again. 10:56 left to go in the game. 23-7, Minnesota leading. 2 big turnovers in the first 4 minutes of the second half has been the big difference in this ball game. The interception set up the go-ahead field goal, and the fumble recovery led to an instant touchdown when Nate Wright picked it up and rambled 20 yards for the score. Metcalf is back in single deep safety. Eyeshide set to kick it away. Runs forward. There's the kick. They put on a single-man rush, and it was close. Metcalf waits for it. It bounces. Fire inside the 15. And it's going to roll dead at the big red 11-yard line. So Eyeshide got a good kick away. A 44-yard punt. An action break in today's Vikings-St. Louis game with a score 23-7. The Vikes on top in the 4th period. More from the Met in 60 seconds.
There are 2 very important kinds of interest, and you get them both from your local Savings and Loan Association. You get a generous rate of interest. You can always be sure of that. Your money is always there when you want it. All the money you have saved, plus the generous interest you have earned. Another important kind of interest is the interest that your local Savings and Loan Association has in your own community. The money you save is put to work helping people build and buy homes. And that is in the very best interest of your community. Savings and loan money stays in your community, works in your community, and it helps to build the solid kind of economic base that takes the edge off inflation. Interest that makes your money grow. Interest that helps to build the community. You get both kinds of interest from your Savings and Loan Association. This message was presented in the interest of the savings and loan industry by Twin City Federal in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Joe McConnell, along with Paul Horning, back at the Met, where more than 44,600 fans have turned out under gray overcast skies and snow flurries today. Temperatures around 20 degrees. To watch this playoff game with the Cardinals. First down, St. Louis.
Joe, would just about do it.
Cardinals on their own 11-yard line. Gray wide to the far side. Split wide to the near side is Earl Thomas. Jim Hart, who's been under heavy pressure in the second half, drops back to pass, swings it out, caught by Thomas on a quick turnout. He gets away from Hilgenberg, runs into Jackie Wallace, and Wallace stops him at the 19. And Thomas and Wallace want to go at it a little bit. Looked like Jackie tried to steal the ball away. The whistle had already sounded. So the ball will be marked at the 19, a gain of 11 on a quick turnout to the big wide receiver, Earl Thomas. It's 2nd down and about a yard. They gave him 9 on the play. Thomas goes out, and J.V. Kane hustles in with a play from Don Coryell. We just briefly mentioned Coryell's great job at St. Louis, Paul, but certainly not to slight him in the least. He probably ought to be Coach of the Year.
He will be.
He has really done a great job of turning around a losing franchise with not too many trades. And this is his second year, and they made the playoffs. Back to pass, Hart on 2nd and 1. Looks long. Pass time. Over the middle. Here, almost intercepted, knocked away by Jackie Wallace, who went up and over Mel Gray, who's only 5'9". Jackie at about 6'3". Almost picked that one off in St. Louis territory. 3rd down and 1.
They'll get one before the day's over with. One overthrown pass against the Viking. Now, of course, they're playing pass, Joe. He had it down the waist there, figuring 3rd down, about 1 yard to go for the 1st down. He'll come back with it, try to pick it up now.
3rd and 1. Clock stopped with 9:48 to go. Kane stays in there. He's wide to the near side. They have 2 tight ends in now. 3 backs are in there, and and now Willard shifts 1 step over to the right. And again, he didn't get it. Here's the Metcalf, and he is nailed for a loss.
Oh, it was right there, Joe. Also Seaman.
Yes, Seaman really blew in there and submarined the whole thing. And they stopped him for a yard loss out of that power eye, which has not been all that successful today, and it's 4th and 2.
Next week, the Vikings will probably play right here, and this will be the first game in the playoffs, Joe. Be another noon game. Another Saturday night to left guard. I can't handle it.
You'll find a way. McCullum and Nate Wright are the 2 deep men. Wallace is tucked up between them at about the 45 in Viking territory as Hal Roberts is set to punt it away again now for St. Louis. There's a snap. He gets it away. High kick.
Fair catch.
Nope. Wallace drops back, takes it at the 40, and goes down at the 43-yard line. Down quickly was Gary Hammond to make the tackle for St. Louis, along with Pearl Scales, would you believe? Unusual name. A rookie from North Texas State, a cornerback. So the Vikes take over. 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line. A 3-yard return by Jackie Wallace on a 39-yard kick. 8:47 left to go in the game. Jim Lash goes wide to the left. Boy, I would love to see him get a touchdown pass. If anyone has earned it, he has. Gilliam in the slot to the left. Tarkington gives now to Foreman on the sweep to the right side, and he bangs across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Big pileup as they roll over near the near sidelines. Counsel Rudolph and Mark Arneson in there, along with Jim Talbert, the strong side safety. 2nd down, 7, a gain of 3 as Foreman has gone over the 100-yard mark. First Viking running back this year. And, of course, the playoffs are all important now. This is the first game of the new season. They just announced it to the crowd. They were 1 play late. Foreman gets a fine hand from the near-capacity crowd here at the Met. Wide to the near side is Gilly. Split wide to the left is Lash. 2nd down, 7. Ball at the 46, and they give the Foreman. Slide to the outside. Almost broke away, but he's hauled down by a shoestring tackle at the 49.
Arneson again.
Yes, Mark Arneson has been all over the field for St. Louis today. A gain of 3 more. It's 3rd and 4. And had Foreman been just a little quicker breaking to the outside, he might have popped that one for 15 or 20 yards as he had some daylight heading for the far sideline. 3rd and 4, the Vikes near the midfield stripe at about their own 48 and a half.
Let's see who come out with the little B circle here.
Lash again puts wide to the far side. Gilly again wide to the near side. John Gilliam. Plan might keep it on the ground here. Nope, he's going to bootleg to the right, looking downfield, slings it out. Caught for the field, scoreboard inside the 40 to the 35. Scoreboard for a second grab as they just set him down on a low pattern to the right side. And Tarkington rolling to the right, hitting beautifully. Making the tackle on the play was Clarence Duran, who has had his hands full at free safety this afternoon, along with Jim Talbot. 1st down with the Vikes on the Big Red 35. You know, this has been an unusual series, Paul, in 5 regular season meetings between these 2 ball clubs. The Cardinals on a 3-2 edge, and the home team has never won. But this is the 3rd meeting this year. Won a preseason encounter down at St. Louis, and then, of course, that Monday night game in the 9th week of the season in St. Louis. The Vikings won the 2 previous tries. Slot left, 1st down. Minnesota on the Big Red 36. Graham gives to Ozzie. Looking to the left side. Tries to turn the corner. He's hit. And pushed back. Norm Thompson, the cornerback, made the tackle on the play. And Ozzie got about 2 yards to the 34. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The clock continues to wind down. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game.
32 rushes for scrimmage now for the Vikings ground offense. Ozzie's got 37 yards on 12 carries. He's also got 28 yards on 3 catches.
Foreman was the leading rusher in the NFC, despite the fact he missed most of the last 2 ball games, and he was 6th in overall pass receptions and set a team record with 53 this year. Gilliam wide to the near side. Skip wide to the left is Jim Rice. 2nd down. He'll follow the short 9. Back to pass. Brand. Pumps. Now swings around to the back to Ozzie. He's at the 35. Beats the 1-man 30. Out of bounds to the 25-yard line. Pulled out by Larry Stallings. And he ran right by Norm Thompson. Beautiful.
Ran right by Thompson. Pass should have been good for about maybe 2 yards, but he beat Norm Thompson on the right sidelines and got the first down. Big play by Dave Ozzie.
The ball at the St. Louis 25-yard line. 5:36 to go in the game. First down, the Vikings on the move again.
Well, the Cardinals got this far. Playoffs. Again, I think just that edge and experience. The Vikings have been here.
Well, the one mistake led to a couple more, and that was the ball game. By formation, slot to the near side right. Parkinson gives to Ozzie, first man through. Takes across the 20 to the 15 and down to the 13-yard line. And again, it was Clarence Graham that saved the touchdown. With a 12-yard pickup on a quick opener right up the middle by Dave Osborne. 10 years out of the University of North Dakota. First down. Vikings on the St. Louis 13. The Vikes break the huddle, and Gilliam goes wide to the left, and Rice comes wide to the near side right. Loose backfield. Ozzie on the left, Foreman on the right. Parkinson. This time gives to Foreman. And he is nailed for about a yard gain and pushback. It'll be 2nd and 9 on the Big Red 12. The Vikings started on their own 43 and have kept it on the ground most of the way, with the exception of the swing pass to Osborne. Well, no gain on the play. It's 2nd and 10 as they moved it back to the original line of scrimmage, the 13-yard line. 4:35 to go, and the clock continues to run.
Watch Gilly. He's already caught 2 for touchdowns. Lined up wide to the right this time.
Wide to the left.
So watch the back seat.
Francis drops back to pass, swings it out on the left side. They're Foreman at the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and he cuts back and he goes down as his footing lost him again at the 6-yard line. Andy Maurer again sprung him with another fine block on that little A and B circle out to the left side, and as Foreman tried to go back, he slipped and fell at about the 7-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and 4. The ball at the St. Louis Cardinals 7-yard line.
Well, Foreman's the leading rusher in this football game. And with that catch, he is the leading pass receiver also.
Rice wide to the left. Gilliam comes wide to the near side. And it's a double wing slot left with Foreman in the slot to the left side. 3rd down 4 from the Cardinals 7-yard line. And Fran gives to Ozzie, struggling up the middle inside the 5. He battles all the way down near the 3, maybe the 2-yard line.
Oh, what a second effort. Just a straight handoff to Ozzie. He would not be stopped. He was actually hit just about the 5-yard line, Joe, and that would have been short of the first down. Would have brought on Freddie Cox. But a great second effort by Ozzie. He hit one man. It might have been Arneson in there and just drove over him. Looked like they got the first down.
No, they move it back to the 3.
Quick whistle.
To the 1.
Bad call by the referee.
It's going to be 4th down. Now they're going to measure. The ball, I thought he got at least to the 2 and actually wound up near the goal line. But they move it all the way back out to the Cardinal 3-yard line. And they measure.
That was a very quick whistle. That would have been a first down. He got all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Well, it's 4th down, less than a yard. They're going to go for it. They've already got the game wrapped up with a 23-7 lead. No point in bringing in Freddie. Here comes Kingsrider and Alleman in. And Rice and Gilliam, the 2 wide receivers, head for the Viking bench across the way. 3:18 left to go in the game. Now they start the clock again. Fourth down, less than a yard on the St. Louis 3. There they break the huddle. Kingslider will line up as a wing on the right side. Ozzie and Foreman, the running backs. Here's the call on fourth and less than a yard to give the Foreman is in for the touchdown as he leaps over the line and goes into the left side. Chuck Foreman, 3 yards for his first touchdown in the playoffs.
Beautiful blocking off the left side. Fans had a reverse spin out, handed back to Foreman, going right up the middle, and he kind of slid off his left guard and left tackle, Goodman and Sunday. Andy Morrow is also there. 57 yards in 9 plays for the score. And the Vikings are going to represent the NFC in the championship game next Sunday.
The NFC Central Division, I believe. Cox will attempt the PAT with 2:51 remaining. Kraus wait for the snap. The ball is down. The kick is through, and it's 30-7. The Vikings have turned it around here in the second half. After being lucky to escape with a 7-7 tie at halftime, 2 big turnovers really took the Cardinals out of contention, and the Vikings lead it now 30-7 with 2:51 remaining. More from the net in 60 seconds.
One of the really good inflation fighters is a savings account. The more you save, the less you spend. That's good for fighting inflation, and it's good for you. And when you save at a savings and loan association, your money is used primarily to help people build and buy homes. That's where money is really needed today. And that's where money really works hard to build a solid economy. So don't give up on inflation. Fight back. Save a little more than you think you can. That money will grow. It's guaranteed to grow. And that helps you stay ahead of inflation. But most important, you are putting that money safely to work where it is needed the most in our country, helping people to build and buy homes. So fight back at inflation. Save money. The money you save at a savings and loan association works hard for you and your country, too. This message was presented in the interest of the savings and loan industry by Twin City Federal in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Joe McConnell and Paul Horning back at a jubilant Metropolitan Stadium here in Bloomington, where the Vikings have routed the St. Louis Cardinals in the second half of this first-round playoff game. It's 30-7. Cox set to kick it off now. Metcalf is back with Moss and Hammond, the receivers on the wings, and he just squids one down the middle, and it's fielded again by Hartle, the linebacker, and this time he's going to shoot, but he bounces off of one man as he lowered his head, bounced away, and got back to the 35, making the 36-yard line, and again, it was the rookie, the number 1 draft choice from UCLA, linebacker Fred McNeil, that finally bulldogged him down.
He got
McConnell.
McNeil's being helped off. He ran right into him. Head-on collision.
Helmet to helmet.
Hold your head up.
2:42 to go in the game, and the Cardinals have it on their own 36-yard line, and they've got to be a downcast bunch, but of course, nobody really in the NFL thought that St. Louis would be a playoff contender, let alone make it to the playoffs, and they've had a successful year no matter what happened today.
Well, it looked like the Cardinals were ready to roll and make a real competitive game out of this. They scored first, and then 30 unanswered points. It just paved the way for a Viking easy victory in the second half.
On a draw, it goes to Otis, looking for running room outside, but he's grabbed by Hilgenberg, and then Marshall came over the top to help make sure, and he goes down at the 35-yard line, and he actually lost about a yard. Yeah, they give him a yard up to the 36 at second down 9. Cardinals lining up without a huddle. Hart back to pass on 2nd and 9. Lines up, throws one out, caught by Gary Hammond, who's into the ball game, and he's nailed immediately over on the far sidelines at the 46-yard line in Big Red territory. It should be enough for the first down as Jeff Wright knocked him out of bounds. Hammond caught only 2 passes during the year, playing behind Mel Gray, but as we mentioned, he did come in one ball game and throw an 81-yard touchdown pass on an option play to the tight end Jackie Smith, and that was the longest scoring play from the line of scrimmage in the NFC this year. Bob Lurchman's in there, bench warmer Bob playing up front. He made one big quarterback sack in the first half of this ball game. Jimmy Marshall goes out. Lurchman has replaced him. First down, St. Louis on their own 46. Hart back to pass, almost stumbled, being rushed by Page, stepped out of the pocket, throws, incomplete, intended for Earl Thomas, who was already down on both knees, and the ball bounced in front of him, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10, and the clock stopped with 2:07 to go. Well, it'll be either the Washington Redskins, the wild card team, or the Los Angeles Rams, the Western Division champions of the NFC, in here next week at the Met for the NFC title game. And I got a hunch that Washington's going to win it tomorrow, not next week. The Skins had defeated the Rams 2 weeks ago at the Coliseum. The Rams have what is pretty much a suspect secondary, and of course the Skins have the best passing attack in the NFC with Kilmer and Jurgensen. Kilmer will get to start tomorrow, and it also appears that Larry Brown will not start, but Dwayne Thomas will at one of the running backs. He had a great game last week. Back to pass is Hart on 2nd and 10. Swings it out of the backfield to Metcalf, who juggles and drops it at the 42-yard line. Metcalf very upset with himself. Alan Page just kind of wraps both arms around him and pats him on the back. Incomplete, 3rd down and 10 with 2:02 remaining.
So I have Minnesota's #1 fan here, Senator Hubert Humphrey, and I guess you're enjoying this ball game quite a bit today.
I surely am. After a morning of frustration, I was in Washington this morning, and the man that was picked me up overslept. So I missed that Northwest Airlines flight out of there at 7:40, and I had to get United at 11:55.
Senator, don't feel bad. I missed the first quarter of last year's first playoff game of the same thing.
But when I got here, it was 7-7. And I brought along good luck.
23 unanswered points.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Beautiful. I wish I could do as well myself.
Hart back to pass. He throws down the middle, incomplete as he overthrew his intended receiver, Mel Gray, and 2 penalty flags are thrown, and it may be an interference call. Jeff Wright, I think, was detected holding the intended pass receiver, Mel Gray, and that will give the Cardinals a first down in St. Louis territory. Now, the 2-minute warning is being sounded to the benches. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Vikings KSTP Radio Network.
If you are planning a trip in the new year, plan on visiting Twin City Federal soon. You can get handsome luggage there free or at low cost with a qualifying deposit.
Joe McConnell and Paul Horning back at the Met with 1:58 to go in that first-round playoff game. The Vikings have it locked up 30-7.
I want to ask the good senator standing to my left right here, are you going to be here next week for the big one?
You know it. You know it. And you don't mind my saying it. I hope it's the Redskins. I have a few scores I want to settle.
I would imagine you'll have a little something to talk about back in Washington if they can beat the Rams tomorrow.
Yes, of course, I'd like to get even with the Rams. They never should have won that game against us out there. Harris had 8 completions in a row. That was too much. We ought to take care of him.
Senator, one word about the fans here. Isn't this marvelous? We haven't had the best day weather-wise, and yet we have 44,000 plus here. It's a real football time.
You know, when I came in, I heard one of the national networks talking about the lousy weather. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Minnesota. Not bad at all. It's beautiful.
Hart back to pass. He wings one down the near sidelines, and it's caught by Mel Gray, who's wrestled down immediately, stopped by Jackie Wallace and middle linebacker Jeff Seaman, and they'll spot the ball at about the Vikings' 27-yard line with 1:43 to go. The Cardinals would like to put at least another score on the board, and they're marching down there now, and they'll spot the ball on the 26-yard line. They're lining up without a huddle. Gray on the near side, put wide to the right. Is Big Earl Thomas back to pass. His Hart. He throws onto the right sidelines, and it's knocked away, incomplete. J.B. Kane could not hang on as Nate Wright jarred it loose at the 19-yard line.
Joe Carlisle put Jim Hart right on his back. The pass rush again today has been superb. In the first half, Actually, in the second quarter, Hart actually had a little time to really throw the football. But here in the second half, this defense of the Minnesota Vikings has been outstanding. And they've been there a long time, Eller and Marshall.
They've been great. Eller and Marshall, Page, White. Listen, these boys are all playing a great game out there. They're marvelous. Eller and Page and Marshall are just tops.
Well, it's second down 10. The Cardinals on the Vikings 26. Hart drops back to pass, sets up quickly, shoots one out the left side. A great diving catch by Earl Thomas, who slipped and fell and still hauled it in. He stayed in bounds inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. He just reached up with the left hand and hooked it in and hugged it. Jeff Wright touched him down with 1:15 to go. The Cardinals call their first timeout. They have 2 remaining.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Hubert Humphrey, who stopped in to chat a little bit with us late in the ball game. Well, we have 1:15 to go, and we'd like to take time out to thank our crew again for the wonderful job they've done not only today but all year for the KSTP Minnesota Viking Football Network. Don Dahl, our engineer here at the Met. Our statisticians, Jerry Stile and Jack Bleasy. Our studio producers, Rod Person, Dan Pittman, Leroy Myrie, and Larry Carolla. Our producer-director, I don't know. Rod sits there and listens to the game and picks out a few plays for us to go on the post-game show. Our producer-director, Rod Krongard, and our executive producer and general manager, Jack Nugent. Well, the Cardinals will have it 3rd down and 2 at the Viking 18-yard line with 1:15 to go when play is resumed. The Vikes have a berth in the NFC Championship game locked up, and they'll host it right here at the Met a week from tomorrow, noon, actually at 12:05 kickoff time, against either the Rams or the Washington Redskins. 30-7 to score here with 1:15 to go. And what a second half this has been for the Vikings. Well, the Vikings went with their 14-man defensive huddle, and Lurchma, Podol, and Brown hurry off. Wide to the near side is Earl Thomas. Split wide to the right is Mel Gray. Hart back to pass, swings it out quickly to Thomas. He can't hang on. Jackie Wallace tried for it on the deflection, but it's incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 2. 1:11 to go. 4th down and 2. St. Louis on the Viking 18-yard line. J.B. King comes back in, replacing Earl Thomas, who has had 2 or 3 go through his hands today, but he did make a fine grab laying on the turf a moment ago. Thomas, in a show of disgust, takes off his helmet before he gets to the sidelines and just throws it beyond his Cardinal teammates who are lined up on the far sidelines. Kane wide to the near side, split wide to the right is Mel Gray. And on 4th and 2, Hart back to pass, swings it out. It's caught by Jackie Smith, the tight end, and he's wrestled out of bounds at the 12-yard line. There is the first reception of the day for the tight end Jackie Smith. Jeff Wright chased him out of bounds over on the far sidelines. He stops the clock and gives St. Louis possession on the 1st down at the 11-yard line. And Jerry Hammond comes in. And now Earl Thomas puts that headgear back on, and he also comes back in to replace J.B. Kane. Hammond is in, replacing Mel Gray. Hammond wide to the left, Thomas wide to the right. 1:05 left to go in the ball game. And the fans here, even though the Vikings are up 30-7, would like them to keep St. Louis shut out the rest of the way. Hand off on a draw to Metcalf, and he goes for the touchdown right up the middle. He broke a tackle at the 3-yard line. Paul Krause had a shot at him, couldn't hold, and Metcalf races right into the end zone with an 11-yard carry for the touchdown.
A delayed draw, Joe. 11-yard touchdown run. Terry Metcalf. Well, 13 points. The Vikings defense, of course, got a lot of pride. We're trying to stop Minnesota from putting another touchdown on the board. I mean, stop St. Louis. But it's too far gone to realize now.
1 minute left to go in the game. Bakken's extra point is good, and the score now is the Minnesota Vikings 30 and the St. Louis Cardinals 14. Cardinals went 64 yards in 10 plays for the consolation touchdown. Well, Paul, in summarizing this ball game, you have to go back really to the next to last play in the first half when Bakken missed a very short field goal attempt at 23 yards, which would have given the Cardinals a 3-point lead at halftime. And then coming out in the second half, the 2 big turnovers just turned this ball game completely inside out for St. Louis.
Absolutely. Now we'll probably have an onside kick here by St. Louis. Vikings, of course, have got the kick return team of the guys with the good hands. To the left of the kicker, Billy Brown, Kings Rider, Fred McNeil, Terry Brown, Amos Martin. They're all up front.
McCollum is the only man deep for the Vikes. Sergio Albert.
Ozzy's in there also.
Moves forward, and he squibs it, and it's not going to go to 10 yards. Well, it does, and Kings Rider wisely falls on it just as it got across the Cardinal 45-yard line. A fine play by Doug Kings Rider. As the ball bobbled and bounced, it didn't look like it was going to get the necessary 10 yards. And just as it crossed the 45, Doug Kings Rider fell on it. So the Vikings have it at the St. Louis 45 with 59 seconds to go in the game. 30-14 the score. The Vikings have it locked up. Tarkington has gone all the way at quarterback. We'll see what now they have in their running backs. They may have the same tandem in there. Osborne and Foreman have gone all the way, and Chuck Foreman cracked the century mark today. First time a Viking running back has done that all year. Foreman has gained 110 yards and 22 carries and scored the Vikings' last touchdown. And they leave him in all the way to finish what they started. Slot right. They give it to Osborne. He breaks across the 40, and he rolls all the way down to the 35-yard line. A 10-yard pickup right up the middle by Dave Osborne, and that's going to give him a good rushing afternoon as well.
63 yards, Joe, and 15 carries for Ozzy. He's also caught 4 passes for 37 yards. So these two backs have had just outstanding days.
Well, it's second down and about 6 inches to go, and they bring in Kings Rider and take out Lash. Gilliam wide to the near side. Kings Rider and Voigt are the tight ends. 22 seconds left to go. And now Kings Rider splits about 3 yards wide to the right in the slot. They give it to Ozzy again, and he gets all the way down near the 30-yard line. He was hit low at the 33 and carried under the tackler to about the 31. It's going to be it. 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5. The teams are already heading to the dressing room. 2, 1. It's all over at Metropolitan Stadium. The first round of the NFC Playoff in 1974. And the Vikings proved to be a big winner against the young and inexperienced St. Louis Cardinals here in the first round today. The final score, the Vikings turn it around in the second half to win big. And there go the goalposts down on the left end zone, which is the northern end zone here. The fans have twisted them vertically and are going to work on the metal goalpost. For the final score here, the Minnesota Vikings victorious 30-14. This is Joe McConnell along with Paul Horning. We invite you to stay tuned for the point after next on the Minnesota Vikings KSTP Radio Network.
This Minnesota Viking broadcast was brought to you by the people who bring you Think Happy Service. Twin City Federal, where the famous twin clocks flash the time and temperature. Next Sunday at the Met, December 29th, our Vikings will compete for the National Football Conference Championship. Kickoff on KSTP Radio will be at 12 noon. The Minnesota Vikings football team, their staff and management, would like to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and the best of the holidays coming up.
A well-chosen gift is a great idea. And the newest off-sale business in the area, The Depot, has a selection of wine that is sure to help you find the right gift for nearly anyone on any occasion. The Depot has elegant wines for your party hosts, sparkling wines for your own entertaining. And remember, a wine gift need not be expensive to be appropriate. The Depot is more than a great wine department, however. All of your favorite beverages are displayed on the pallet-filled 14,000-square-foot show floor. When you think of holiday entertainment, think of the new, huge Depot on the edge of downtown Minneapolis. There are many good reasons for this, but we can't advertise prices here, so stop in and see for yourself. The Depot is located just 1 block east of the Washington Avenue Viaduct at 1010 Washington Avenue South, next to the Gas for Less place. You don't have to go to Wisconsin anymore. The front page survey article of the Minneapolis paper on Monday, December 9th told the story. Stop in and see it. We've got it posted on the wall. The new Depot would like to thank you for the huge acceptance to our way of doing business and wish you a happy and meaningful holiday.
30-14, nice going Vikings. It's 21 degrees, KSTP, St. Paul, and Minneapolis.
Time for the new Shock Electronics catalog of the air with me, Uncle Allie. And me, Jimmy. What shall we read to the listeners today, Jimmy?
How about Pioneer stories, Uncle Allie?
History is good, Jimmy.
I mean Pioneer stereo receivers, turntables, headphones, and speakers.
Oh, yes, the complete Pioneer line featured at Shock Electronic Stores.
Looking at Pioneer in the catalog, Uncle Allie.
Pioneer, Jimmy, is known for its superb quality, which means high reliability and high trade-in value to stock.
What's that you're reading, Uncle Allie? Quest magazine?
Now, that's Uncle Allie's history, Jimmy. Ancient history. Pure above while Uncle Allie unfolds the center page. Oh, my.
This Saturday at Shock's Northtown store, watch the price of a $600 stereo drop $25 each half hour. Beat the Shock clock and win the stereo deal of a lifetime.
The Point After with Joe McConnell and Paul Horner. A review of today's Viking game, plus a look around the National Football League. The Point After is brought to you by Union Carbide, makers of the ever-ready alkaline power cell. Come to the top with our best, longest-lasting power source for radios, cameras, and cassettes. The ever-ready alkaline power cell. Here's Joe McConnell.
Well, we're back at a happy Metropolitan Stadium on a gray Saturday late in December, where the Viking faithful are now walking all over the field. They're putting the tarp on it right away. But they're celebrating their 30-14 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals, which moves the Vikings into the NFC title game for the second consecutive year. They'll host it here a week from tomorrow against the winner of tomorrow's game in Los Angeles against the Rams and the Washington Redskins. And, of course, the winner of that one represents the NFC in Super Bowl IX down in New Orleans on January 12. The Vikings have been there twice with no cigar. Of course, they'd love to go back a second straight year. And, Paul, you know, in the previous Super Bowl ball games, the team that has gone back the second year has always won. And the Vikings themselves said that after last year, they really had no way of knowing just what it was going to entail, all the hoopla and everything, plus the 2-week layoff prior to a Super Bowl game, and they felt that the circus atmosphere down there might have made a big difference in their game, and this ball club is very anxious to go back and try to redeem themselves.
They sure are. Of course, they've got the experience, Joe, and it really comes in handy in the playoffs. And I really think that was the edge for the Vikings today coming into this football game. The team with the more experience usually makes the fewest amount of mistakes in a game of this magnitude. And the Vikings, of course, 2 turnovers there in the second half really spelled the differences. The Vikings came up with 10 points within 1 minute of play there in the third period, and that was all she wrote for the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Cardinals played it very tough for most of the first half. In fact, should have had at least a 3-point lead at halftime. Bakken missed that short field goal, and that's got to give a ball club a big lift, particularly the Vikings. I mean, to have a fellow like Bakken miss a relatively short field goal attempt going down to the final seconds of the first half, and this ball game was definitely a different game in the second half.
It sure was. Again, the Minnesota Viking defense, Joe, was just absolutely outstanding. The passes that Hart really completed, and you're talking about the yardage, he really got about 75 yards against the prevent defense with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and he came back with maybe about 70 yards to go with 2 minutes to go in the game when the game was completely out of hand. So actually, the toughness of that Minnesota Viking defense really was not tested as far as the St. Louis Cardinals is concerned, because they picked up almost half of their yardage when it really didn't amount to anything.
Okay, Paulie, we'll be back with more of the Point After, but right now, this time out.
If you use ordinary batteries in your camera and they quit too soon to suit you, come to the top. If you use your radio almost all the time, but you don't want to be buying batteries all the time, come to the top of the Ever-Ready line. Come to the Ever-Ready Alkaline Power Cell, our best, longest-lasting power source. No ordinary battery ever made works so hard, so long. Repeat, no ordinary battery ever made works so hard, so long as the Ever-Ready Alkaline Power Cell. Now you can get a $1 refund on specially marked packages of Ever-Ready Alkaline Power Cells. Details at participating Ever-Ready dealers. Come to the top. Come to the Ever-Ready Alkaline Power Cell.
Let's take a look at the stats for this football game. Minnesota 19 first downs, St. Louis 7. And of course, that's a little bit misleading, as I was just talking about, because within about a minute to go in the first half, the Vikings were in that prevent defense. They picked up about 4 first downs. And then here, with 2 minutes to go in the ball game, they picked up about 3 or 4 first downs, but it really didn't matter. So the Vikings come up with 19 first downs, St. Louis 17. Running the football up front, the blocking was magnificent today for the Minnesota Vikings. They picked up 199 yards rushing on 42 attempts. St. Louis only picked up 100 yards on the ground. In the air, the Vikings picked up 166, St. Louis 184. Net yards, St. Louis 284 today, Minnesota 365 yards. Both of them very close. A number of plays run from the offensive line of scrimmage. The Vikings ran 66 plays, St. Louis 67. Passes completed, while Hart was 18 out of 40 for their 184 yards. Tarkenton 13 out of 23 for 166 and 2 touchdown passes. Hart had 1 touchdown pass, a 13-yard toss in the first half to Early Thomas. Interceptions, St. Louis had 2, Minnesota 1. Penalties, St. Louis was penalized 15 yards on 1 penalty, and that was a clipping call, and Minnesota got 39 yards in penalties on 4 infractions. Punts, St. Louis averaged 36.4, and Eyeshide on 5 kicks averaged 38.2. St. Louis lost 1 fumble. Minnesota did not fumble the football. Now let's break down those stats individually. For the Cardinals, Metcalf, leading rusher. He got 58 yards on 15 attempts, and his longest run was 13 yards. He got 11-yard touchdown run right at the end of the ball game. Otis, the fullback, 32 yards on 8 carries. His longest run was 12 yards. Willard carried the ball once for no gain. Hart, 18 out of 40, as I said, for 185 and 1 interception. Thomas caught 7 for 76, 1 touchdown. Smith only caught 1 pass today, and I really think that as far as the game plan, this really hurt the St. Louis Cardinal passing attack. You've got to go to your tight end a lot against that Minnesota zone, and Smith, who had an outstanding day against the Vikings in St. Louis on that Monday Night Football game, only caught 1 pass today for 5 yards. Gray caught 4 for 62. He also dropped 3 or 4. Hammond caught 1 for 11 yards. Metcalf caught 4 for 41, his longest being 28 yards there in the second half. On the other side of the ledger, Chuck Foreman, an outstanding day. 110 yards rushing on 22 attempts. His longest run, 14 yards, and he got his touchdown, the last touchdown the Vikings scored, a 3-yard burst over the left side. Ozzie, another outstanding day, 68 yards and 16 carries. His longest run was 12 yards. Tarkenton, 13 out of 23 for 168, 2 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns, both going to John Gilliam, and they were the only passes that Gilly caught today. He caught those 2 for 54 yards, 1 a 16-yard touchdown pass, and 1 a 38-yard bomb in the second half. Lashton was shut out today. It was very unusual because he's had an outstanding year, caught 32 passes on the season, but he was shut out today. Stu Voigt came up with 2 big catches for 25 yards. Foreman, as usual, the leading pass receiver for the Vikings, caught 5 for 54. Ozzie caught 4 for 37. So Foreman today offensively picked up 164 yards on offense. Ozzie picked up 105 yards. Ozzie had 68 yards rushing and 38 yards on pass receiving. So those 2 guys really had themselves quite a day. I thought that Tarkenton called an excellent game. He only had 2 interceptions. He came up with the big play when he needed it, and that has been his forte for many, many years. Joe McConnell will have today's game highlights following this important message.